Welcome in to session 64, I think. Who even knows these days? Of Adventures in Aanthara.
Play Nintendo.
That's true, Nintendo.
64 is right.
Yep. Why is that the number for that? Is it 64-bit or was that a year?
I think it was 64-bit.
Okay, so we are now.
Do you think
64-bit
Nintendo
computers.
We weren't at
64
the
came out in
moon yet, Matt.
1964?
Listen, maybe that was when the guy was born or something. I don't know.
Oh,
The point
my
is,
God.
our session is older than Nintendo, is what I'm taking away from
And
this.
it's named after its 64-bit CPU, so yes.
Okay, thank you.
The more fun facts you hear, learn at
So
Anthar.
this campaign
Nintendo,
is
don't
a
sue
full
us for mentioning you, I
64-bit
swear to God.
PC. Yeah, we love you, Nintendo. Mostly.
Not a sponsor.
Not a
Not a
sponsor
sponsor.
yet.
Don't sponsor.
Previously,
Don't.
it's better than being sponsored by Xbox these days.
That is correct.
Yo.
Anyways, we're moving on.
Dating this session. Previously on Adventures in Aanthara, the party, after what felt like weeks, it really was actually just like a week of lead up to the Radiance Gala in Ilmara. It was, in fairness, I think months of IRL time. Arrived in the evening, fully decked out in their finest apparel, at the Radiance Gala at the Celestial Chateau in the Horizon District of Ilmara. And upon arriving there, began undertaking an interesting night of conversation, performance, a lot of insight checks, some observation, certainly. They have specifically carried out 4 of what I have set as 8 potential conversations, potential specifically role-played at least conversations, with a large group of optional NPCs / groups of NPCs. Those conversations having been with Lady Isolde Montague, who approached them with an interest in Brightwing and her potential art inspiration. Dr. Joanna Dapplehold, who specifically Yasnip had a conversation with, largely centering around skyships and her apparent connections with advancing technology in that realm. Lady Solstice Austere, who primarily Faye had a conversation with about the interesting things she's observed through the Astral Observatory where she works. And Lady Talia Giordana, who both Faye and Brightwing had a conversation with, who the party has previous information on as potentially the last known bearer of an elder relic that they had heard about. But they mostly talked about the snootiness of people in the world and Faye's general interest in society and potentially a long-term business relationship?
You don't know.
And then Faye, as previously established through some contacts in Ilmara, gave a performance, an exceptional performance, the number of which I can't even remember, but it was in the high 20s, I believe, to the entire gala, which had many people enraptured, and to Brightwing's specific eye, garnered a strange-ish reaction from Drycar Orion Marquez, who Brightwing was paying special attention to. Not entirely sure why, but after the performance ended, and Faye snuck through the crowd invisible, they all reconvened, and that is where we left off. So, we pick up midway through the Radiance Gala, midway through your list of potential conversations. What would you all like to do?
have a very important question.
Yes.
Are we still drinking liquids every time that Matt uses a different accent?
I don't have my
You
liquid.
need to go
so-
procure liquids.
Okay. I just wanted to cover that before we get started.
I can
Wait,
procure
why was
liquids.
I drinking the liquids last time in the first place?
That was your choice, bro.
That seems like a poor choice on my part, considering
I
how many
think-
different things I have to do.
I think we hadn't reconvened. I think I was
had-
gonna go talk to the dry car, seeing that reaction, like immediately following the performance. I think.
Well,
that's
I
what-
know Faye had reconvened with at least Eclipse.
I had cast message at Eclipse and asked her to grab my dress.
Which she had done, and I think
Yeah.
you had gotten over to her. Brightwing, you hadn't said anything about the dry car to Faye or anyone else?
I told Faye before she went on about that he's been
that he was
watching her.
That's right, that's right.
But
Okay.
in terms of what just happened, no. And I
Okay.
was watching the performance near him, but by your brother,
Right.
Rafe.
Yes, who did a bunch of raucous cheering. Okay, so just to be sure, Faye, you were making your way to Eclipse after telling her to grab your stuff, correct?
If I was still invisible, I had tried to
Yes.
like beeline it to the hallway because I have 60 seconds. Or well, no, I guess I really don't. But oh yeah, it's invisibility. I have time.
Yeah, you have an hour. Yeah.
I guess I just didn't want a floating dress across the
Sure.
ballroom.
Okay, so were you going to a hallway to uninvisible somewhere out of sight, and then we're gonna
Yes.
walk
Nope,
back to
becomes
Eclipse?
Yes, that was what I was gonna drop
I
the
see.
invisibility like back out in the hallway or in a bathroom or something.
Okay, so then I think that you didn't reconvene. You just sent that message. That's my bad. Okay, so I will have you roll. You rolled a stealth check to get off the stage, I believe, but I'll have you roll an additional stealth check to pick your way through the crowd and get somewhere out of sight to uninvisible, with advantage, of course.
Oh yeah. Come on, Delphine. Okay. 22.
22. Okay. You make your way sneaking through the crowd. There's a couple times where somebody probably should have bumped into you, and you just dexterously dance your way through into the hallway and into probably one of those little powder closet nooks or something. No one is there, and you can uninvisible without a problem.
Cool.
In the meantime, Brightwing, are you doing something?
Yeah, I think. How near is the dry car from me? I guess.
Probably 50 to 60 feet. Well, 40 to 50, I'd say. Not particularly close, but close enough that you could see his face. Especially with your perception.
Mm-hmm.
Well, other people probably couldn't make out that kind of detail from that distance, but you can.
So weird, as you said face, I could hear the quotations.
I think I'll make my way over. But like make my way over. But as for like is he still just staring at the stage? What's he doing now?
He's kind of like strolling his way towards a side of the ballroom area with a drink in hand, sort of just like casually scanning around, not
Okay.
particularly making contact or conversation with anyone. As you have noticed throughout the night, he is one of the least approached people in the entire party. Because, as Faye pointed out last time, people of lower class don't often make contact with people of upper class, and he's about as upper class, beyond even the upper class, as it gets. So,
Well, Brightwing doesn't understand that.
True. Are you going alone, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go over and I think I'll just like just smile and just be like, wasn't that just a great performance?
Okay. I am going to say, this is
Not my strong
interesting.
suit.
This is interesting. Let me ask you this. What are you attempting to portray or convey? Are you trying to be innocent? Are you trying to be
Yes.
cute? Are you trying to be nonchalant?
I
Are you
think
trying to pretend like you are really interested in the performance, but really there's a lot more to what you're over here for? What is going on in Brightwing's psyche in this moment?
I would say Brightwing is... she generally is excited about the performance. She probably is just bragging about her friends. So is that innocent nature to it. But she also recognizes that this has a different effect on him than what is the norm. So she herself is just trying to gauge where he's at. But she's also just being the innocent, like, that was great, wasn't it?
Okay. I will say roll a charisma check.
Yeah, I figured.
And I will give you a non-proficiency related +1 for innocent cuteness that is just natural to Brightwing.
Yay! Hold on, I gotta pull up my sheet. It went away. I thought it was still there, but it's not. Okay. That's a natural 20!
Oh, mama. For a total of?
Let's go.
For charisma, use a +1 plus my +1, so a +2. 22.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
Up close, by the way, you see, I think I may have described him last time, but you see this water genasi as he appears to you. Yeah, you've heard things about him, so you're not maybe 100% positive that's what he is, but that's what you see. This lightish blue skin, shoulder-length black hair that's kind of largely not slicked back in like a tight way, but sort of loosely waved and slicked back. Pretty strong square jaw, these light gray eyes that look into you rather probingly. Looks more or less to some degree like Antonio Banderas. It was quite good, yes. This is a place of great arts, and it is not uncommon for great performances like that, but beautiful. I'm sorry. I'm not sure I'm acquainted with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just was very excited to talk. She's my friend. You see.
Is that
She
right?
invited me to come here.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I'm not entirely familiar with who she is either.
Insight check.
Roll an insight check.
21.
20.
He probably has a really good deception though. Oh,
You don't know.
damn.
I will have everybody else remove their headphones.
Oh. Don't lie to the bird.
You... Okay. I will state, as I've stated before, insight checks are not lie detectors.
Mm-hmm. They're
It's
gauged.
not... Yeah, yes. And it's not always the case that there are some people where, especially with your high insight, you'd be able to pick out what is almost certainly a lie if they are just like a mess. Like, you know, sweating, stuttering, the types of things that you can actually identify. There are other instances where people are very practiced at holding themselves together, at putting on a face, and you get the sense that this figure is maybe as good as that as anyone that you've ever known, just based off what you know about him, and the field of magic he studies and rules over, almost in a sense. So you don't expect, as Leah or Brightwing, that you can like get a sense, oh, he's lying, oh, he's not lying. Having said that, there is a underlying something else in his reply. It's not necessarily a, yes, you clearly do know who she is, and you can't make out exactly what it is, whether it's confusion, fear, anger. You don't know what the emotion is, maybe, that might connect to this. But you sense that there is something else laden into the words than just, I don't know who that is, tell me, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I figured.
It was the longest answer to an insight check.
Brightwing's
Well,
insight checks to detect thoughts.
True.
To be honest, she was quite nervous before she went up, but I told her she had nothing to worry about, and from everyone's reactions, I see that I was correct on that.
Certainly does not seem that she would need to be concerned, no, but she and you, introduction perhaps.
Oh, I am sorry. I am Brightwing. I'm not from here, obviously.
No,
I'm sorry if I bring any offense. I'm not really familiar of customs.
no. I've been around enough places not to judge too harshly on that sort of thing. My name is Orion Marquez.
Very nice to meet you.
You as well. And your friend, the performer.
Well, I believe it's called a stage name. I think, and that is Fatality. But her name, what I call her, is Faye.
I understand. And you have known her through music, or?
Oh, I am not that talented in the arts. I am afraid but I've met her through, well, I guess not the normal way of meeting people. But I guess you could say we have crossed the path and decided to walk down the same one.
Fair enough. How, may I ask, did you come to be here? This is quite the... Looks around at the variety of nearby people, all of whom seem like hoity-toity society people, and then back to you. It is it's quite a stuffy sort of gathering.
Very open-aired, actually, but,
He chuckles slightly.
Faye comes from a very, big family in your city, and she wanted for me to experience the more high end of society here, since I am quite frankly, from the opposite side of what is known.
Might I ask where you are from?
Oh, I am from the Athelian Forest.
To the west.
Mhm.
Not common to find people from there. Anywhere in Khaing society, or otherwise for that matter.
No.
Are you an ambassador of some kind, or?
No. More, following the path that is set forth for me by by the wilds, which is their, our, how to say in your tongue, our way of life, our giver
Like
of life.
a religion.
Yes.
Interesting. This is not a religious tradition I am familiar with, but curious. And you said that your friend Fatality is from a large family here in Ilmara.
Mm-hmm. Her
My
brother
understanding.
is here as well.
Political
The Rosewood?
government. Ah, trade.
Yes, I believe that is what their family does, yes.
Well,
May I ask
Perhaps-
a question, if you don't mind?
of course.
Don't mean to over this step with you, but I couldn't help but notice, as everyone was enjoying the performance, that gave such joy and energy, you happen to have not the same reaction, I guess. Like I said, I'm sorry if I am overstepping, but it is hard to not see that from someone of my background. A healer. It's hard to get not to stop a healer from seeing hurt. Or I don't know.
Megan, did you see my last message?
Mm.
Okay. Then roll a perception check really quick. Or investigation, I'll say, your choice.
Thank you. It's a dirty 20.
Okay. You would have taken maybe 15 seconds to clock Brightwing, who's not hard to find in this place, even despite her shorter stature, given all the color and extravagance. And you see her talking to the figure you understand to be Drycar Orion Marquez. And probably, if you are you wanting to go to that, go to her and join her, or do you just want to clock that?
I want to take a wide loop, and I want to come up kind of from behind him if possible. I don't want to sneak, but I want her to see me first.
Okay. You
If
don't want to sneak, but you do want her to see you first.
I just want to approach, if they're talking to each other this way, I want to approach from 2:30, 2 o'clock.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. Because he had headed towards a side of the room, and then she came to him from the center, there's not really much of a behind, but you can sort of make an arc and come up more alongside in a way that this might be doable, but I am going to have you roll a check for it. So roll a stealth check. It's not a super high DC. You don't have advantage anymore, though, obviously.
17.
Okay. Brightwing, as you finish this question, you see in your periphery with your passive perception, Faye. So take that for what you will.
I guess what I'm saying is, are you okay?
Okay. Roll a persuasion check and roll an active insight check
Okay.
because you're asking this, I assume, with the immediate intent of reading his reaction.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check and an insight check.
Persuasion's 14. Insight check is a 13. Not my best one. No.
Okay.
No, 13.
Okay. It was, I am often moved by powerful performances of the arts. This was one of the more interesting I've seen, and there is great emotion in music sometimes. Perhaps I was called back to some old memory. But yes, I am perfectly alright.
That's good. I'm sorry. I should not have.
No, no need to apologize. I get the sense you are something of a caretaker.
It's something I try to do. I am a healer, you see.
Do you have, might I ask, and he sort of moves his fingers, and you see like this wave of illusionary, magical colors sort of weave in between them, almost like how Jack Sparrow flicks the coin between his knuckles.
Oh, that's cool.
It's almost like that sort of thing, but with just this like bit of iridescent, colorful magic.
Oh, yes. And I will Druidcraft, I guess. Yeah. I don't know what I'll Druidcraft. I'll look at the weather. I guess.
Okay. He observes it with you. You see a bit of cloud, but not much else. Nods like in a "that's very nice" kind of way.
I bet he does.
I hope you are. Well, we could use more of people with like you dedicating their magic to positive healing. There are many who take it in other directions sometimes.
I have seen on my travels, but I have also seen how a sword could be used in both manners as well. So
Faye, what are you doing? You caught sight of Brightwing, and Brightwing, you caught sight of Faye. Whether or not you gave any signal of that is up to you, like probably a minute ago now.
I guess I'll just look at Faye. Not subtly.
In a hi Faye, come to
Yeah.
me kind of way, or in like a hey look over there, Mr. Drycar kind of way?
Or like just like a, oh look, there's Faye. Like
Okay, if you acknowledge me to the point where I think he would recognize that you have acknowledged me, then I'll come over.
That's what you're intending to do, Brightwing?
mm-hmm.
Okay. The performer of the hour, as it were. I've met your friend. I was just having a conversation with her. You are a fatality, she says, or Fae.
I am, and You certainly need no introduction.
He gives like a deferential nod. Was telling a friend I was quite impressed by your performance. It was quite beautiful.
Thank you. It's been some
I-
time since haven't been on a stage like this since Restalios.
That's where you come from.
That's well, probably. We're not too sure, but probably.
Oh, you sassy woman.
Good job.
Go ahead. Hold the shoulder off, yeah.
Hmm.
You got it. You got it.
Roll a.
To be
I
fair,
don't know.
the last time Brightwing talked to Faye, Faye thought that she wanted Faye to hit on him.
It's how it started.
Well, yeah, Brightwing.
But that's
'cause
not how
Brightwing
it
thought
ended.
He was interested in her in that way.
Right, you said he's interested in you, and so
Yeah.
I was that is the last interaction that happened here.
I'll say roll a persuasion check. It's a bit of a curious one, and there might be different ramifications in normal persuasion checks.
I forgot how old he was, so that was on me when I said that.
We don't know.
But you don't know how old.
That's
he is.
but. Okay.
Yeah.
How's he old? How old does he look
28?
now? Jesus.
He could be
Um,
5. We have no idea.
Roll a
Smart.
roll an intelligence check, Brightwing.
Okay.
Could have been born on the leap year of leap years, probably.
I am so.
How old are you? 6.
I'm 6. I got a 17 plus nothing.
Okay. You would probably put him somewhere in his mid to late 40s,
Okay.
maybe. But like a good-looking mid to late 40s, like, you know, Hollywood actors who end up just looking better in that realm than they did in their 30s.
Yeah.
That kind of look.
Henry Cavill.
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh, very, very classically handsome. I have been many times, but it has been a little while for myself as well. Quite the place for performances like this. Are you a performer by trade? It has been a while, you say.
Kind of. I struck off on my own. Gosh, probably around 18. I mean, and when I say on my own, I mean a very supervised on my own. I'm not proud in that aspect, but Mother tried to get me to do something like embroidery or like painting, and it just didn't suit. We went to the art district once, and I was hooked.
Your parents are the Rosewoods, I believe.
Yes, well, yes.
Well, I was quite taken by your performance. It was lovely. I hope that you will stick around for mine, which is probably coming up.
Are you going to play for him?
I am. Not quite the same sort of thing, but they asked me. I was going to be here for a variety of my own reasons, and they asked me if I would do something magical, so you will know.
I feel like I shouldn't have
I
made
will
any attempt
know.
then, for I'm sure to be thoroughly outshone.
Well, my performance is more visual and of a different kin than yours. I could not sing to save my life. I thank you both for your conversation. I will perhaps see you around.
It was lovely to meet you.
Yes. Good luck on the performance. Oh wait, you're not supposed to say the good luck. Oh, what are you supposed to say in this case, Faye?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like a wrist? Because it's magic? Yes?
He gives another slight chuckle. You get the sense that like he enjoys your quirkiness and also is feeling a little awkward, and so the two of those things combined create this like slight chuckle. I believe they say break a leg, but I would honestly prefer not to do that either.
She could heal you.
It is
That
true.
is true. If I break a leg, I will be coming to you immediately.
That is
But now
an
I-
easy fix.
Take my leave, thank you. He heads off. I will say, Brightwing, roll one final overarching cursory insight check that we will use as the roll for this encounter.
I want to use my dice then,
Okay, one of your previous favor die.
which was a what? A d6?
One of you got a D4, one of you got a D6, one of you got a D8.
Right
and I
wing
can't
is a
remember what the other one was.
D4.
A d4?
Thank you for taking the notes, Brian.
Thank you,
Faye
Brian.
has a D4. I have a D6 because Faye used her D8.
Yes,
I believe.
yes.
Oh, I had 2?
Yeah, you had 2 because you used one on your performance.
Well, I didn't know that I had earned 2.
Yeah, I think you got one from Talia and one from the
Oh, the-
Solstice D'Auxerre.
Ardkel, yeah.
13. No, 4. 24.
24. Okay. You take another D8 favor die. And clarifying a little bit more that unknown something that was additional in your first insight check. There is what you would probably best label as a tense curiosity. One that somewhat stands out for someone of his stature and standing. How Brightwing interprets that is very much up to Brightwing, because, for example, tense curiosity could very much be used to describe the kind of feelings that a person might have if they were romantically interested in someone and maybe weren't super great at rizzing people. So it could be something like that. You don't know for sure, but that's up to you and Brightwing to decide. But that is a 5th encounter. He walks away.
Well,
How'd you swing that?
I just sort of walked up to him. Which I guess you're not supposed to do from what I now understand. But
I'm gonna, like, wrap my arm around your shoulders and, like, kiss your forehead. I love you. Don't ever change, please.
very cute.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got from that. While he was watching you, he seemed sort of sad, I guess, or had this look of longing in his eyes, which seemed very curious because the performance was not sad nor like the song you sang was very entertaining, right? And from him watching you all night and that, it seems he's just very curious. I guess. But I guess
I-
someone of his manner of talent would have to be curious in order to be that talented. So
I did use several spells from his quote unquote his school of magic. So it could be that he recognizes someone up and coming with similar talents and is reminiscing over what it was like to still be learning and growing.
why has he been watching you all evening?
Have you seen me?
The dress is very, 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 very beautiful. And the pants were too. I did not even know that was going to happen.
Yeah, they're kind of warm now, but it's alright. I've made worse concessions in the name of fashion.
That was very, I don't know what that was. It was spectacular? Yes?
Not too over the top.
Not for a place like this, no.
What do you say we get something to eat? We can't
I can show you the
leave
comic
this
place.
place.
Okay. Before I ask Clips and Yasnip what you're doing, can I have both of you... Well, what are both of you doing in terms of just... Are you watching anything in particular as this is happening? Clips, you're currently holding Faye's dress, or remnants of her dress.
Did I put it back on? Did we not get that far? Because I asked if...
Oh, you wanted to go to her and then to Brightwing?
If that's not how it happened, then that's fine. Then I'll just rock the white. But I had thought that I had... We cut it really awkwardly at the end last time, and so I had thought that the request would have come across as, hey, I don't want to redress in front of everyone. Would you please bring it to me so that I can put it back on? But if there wasn't time for that, then I can just rock the pants.
Okay, I thought you just wanted her to get them out of the lying around near the stage, but you were going to rock the pants situation for the rest of the night. But you wanted to grab that, and when you became uninvisible, before you became uninvisible.
Yeah, try to that's why I had
see.
asked and practiced reattaching it.
Okay.
If that's not how it happened, if there wasn't time for that, given what we did, then that's fine.
No, that's fine. We'll say that occurred through the process of Brightwing locating, finding, starting up the conversation, and all of that. Also, there was a minute of you just standing there before making contact in this version, so maybe that was just shortened a little bit. So no worries. Yeah, you can be back in what you were.
Okay.
So Eclipse and Yasnip, are you doing anything particular, watching anything particular with Brightwing having left, and Faye, you're not sure where she went?
I think with Eclipse walking away, I probably would have tailed Brightwing, but not gone close. There would have been, because the last he had was like a handful of peppercorns from the spice pouch.
Okay.
And then he got distracted, so stuffed those in the pocket.
Okay.
And then he probably just would have gone towards the outskirts a bit and just kept an eye on Brightwing.
Okay, how close?
I'll leave that to you, how far you feel. I'm not trying to listen to anything that they're saying.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be present to keep eyes on, because now I don't know where Faye went, and I see Eclipse going somewhere. I don't know what she's doing.
Yes.
So I'm trying to
I'm
the buddy system
okay.
towards Brightwing.
Got it. All right. And Eclipse, you made your way, got the dress, and then essentially felt Faye take it from you. It went invisible when she took it from you, because that's how invisibility works.
Mhm.
And then what were you doing in the ensuing couple of minutes?
Probably slowly retracing my steps back to where I was standing.
Okay. And just continuing to be on watch. Okay. So I will say that you would notice after a couple minutes go by, given your slight familiarity with the emblem. At one point, you notice a dwarf walk by. Stout, rugged frame, thick beard of fiery red hair, and glinting gray-blue eyes set in a weathered face marked by multiple scars. Wearing a cross between light leather armor and a well-tailored charcoal gray suit that has that emblem on the breast of a white flame on a black burst background that you had seen on the riflemen that had been hired as guards throughout the party, and that you recognize, like, that is some company that's been made, but I don't know its name or anything like that. You see this person, the way he is dressed is not like they are. They look like guards, hired guards. He looks like a high officer of the company, or someone who maybe runs it or owns it, that is
He
here
was
as a guest in
invited.
some capacity.
They were
Yes.
requested.
Yes, they are on duty,
Yeah.
in on-duty uniform, basically, and he seems to be here as a guest. You clock that. Up to you whether you want to do anything with it. So, 2 going towards food. Yasnip, you see Faye join Brightwing and start heading that way. What are you doing with that?
Do I see Eclipse come back out or no?
Yeah, Eclipse briefly went up towards the front, grabbed the dress, traced back to where she had been. I don't know if you were watching close enough to see the dress disappear in a moment, and then retraced her steps a little further to where she had been standing before and sort of planted back where she had been, so you would easily be able to make her out.
Okay.
Also, as Brightwing is one of the smaller statured people here, Eclipse is by far one of the largest statured people here, and you can see the tops of her ears over most of the crowd.
It would probably move back towards Eclipse because that's my original buddy.
Okay.
And
Okay.
on returning, you haven't seen any small cats repeating things, have you?
Oh, what? I genuinely couldn't
Cats.
hear you.
Felines?
No, and they certainly haven't been mimicking anything.
You feel confident in each other?
That was cool. Now what? Also that guy, and I'll point at the dwarf. Kind
Okay.
of gesture like this.
Like on the breast pocket?
Yeah, just kind of like the clothing in general. Just kind of.
Okay. Yasnip, you would see this dwarf who's maybe walked like 15 feet away or so, walked by you guys and is now talking to somebody else. And appears to be in some garb that has connection to those rifleman guards you had seen hired throughout the party.
What is our plan?
Do I see the Rourkes anywhere?
Roll a perception check.
That is a 13.
13?
Yeah.
It takes a little while. They seem to have moved from where they have been, but eventually you re-establish an eye line on the Rourkes, who seem to have gathered a couple glasses of wine and are much less surrounded by the gaggle that they had been before. And you see the man and woman, older man and woman, sort of just not in a corner necessarily, but in a somewhat secluded spot, half
Is their
talking to each
son
other, like
still
45
with
degrees.
them?
You do not see their son with them, no.
Fuck. I think you'll notice her eyes kind of tracing the room normally, and her ears will dip a little bit threateningly when she reaches that point, and then she'll kind of keep going.
Okay.
They're over there doing what the fuck they're doing now, but I don't see him with them.
Oh, we could meander. Do you think you can keep control on that small bit of whatever that was?
I don't think they'll want to talk to me if they were involved.
Which means if you were to walk near them, they would probably walk away.
I'm willing to try.
Pincer maneuver. I'll go the other way.
Okay.
Herd them into me.
I will follow his lead.
I love
do
this
so.
scientific
Okay.
method we're having right now.
Okay. So, Yaznip, you are trying to set up in a location where if Eclipse approaches from a certain angle and they are interested in staying away from Eclipse, that they will be herded into you.
We're doing what we do in combat. We're flanking, yo.
We're flanking.
Okay. Okay. Flanking the Rorks. Oh gosh. All right.
We're doing a pincer move.
Yeah. Okay.
I unleashed and go faster. That's-
And Eclipse,
I go nuts.
what is your angle and intent of approach? Are you eyeing them and walking up to them? Are you sidling nearby? Are you trying to look big and fluffy and scary and weapony? What are you doing exactly?
The intention, because I know this isn't gonna work, is to find a new place to essentially perch to get a different angle on the crowd. So kind of finding a similar position to where I've been standing on that side of the room. That's
Okay.
close enough to not seem like I want to talk to them,
Okay.
but close enough to be awkward if I just stand there on
Okay.
purpose.
So you're showing no intent towards them,
Correct.
just in your guard stature that you seem to be maintaining, you're repositioning to get a different vantage point.
It has the energy and the intention of trying to shoo some really irritating kid out of the library kind of a thing that she's definitely done
Okay.
before.
Okay.
So she's just trying to have that level of irritation looking, but not so like, I fucking hate you right now.
Okay.
Just foreboding.
Just
To accent off of that, my intent is to not be caught in their eye line. I want them, if they move away, to be distracted enough by her to where I stand in such a way that they bump into me.
wow. Okay, so you want to get close.
Well, I want to get to the other side so that I'm able to like move in front of their path rather
Yasin's
quickly.
tying his shoe.
Yeah, I like if they start moving, I'll bend down to tie my shoe in front of their path.
Okay, you're trying to create a accidental interaction. Okay.
Circumstances.
Okay, this
If they move,
If they
move from
move.
her,
but
if they do
but
not
you
react
already
to her,
but
if
your
they don't
your
react to her, I'm not doing anything.
but your goal is to be close enough that if they move, you will be
Yes.
quickly in their path.
Yes,
So that's pretty close.
relatively, yeah.
Okay, all right. I will say, for the sake of this, Eclipse, roll an intimidation check.
Oh, jeez.
Yaznip, roll a stealth check to get where you're trying to get, and there may be further checks for you later.
Got it.
Or if you're being very forward, but I think you said you didn't want to be seen by them.
I am distinctly trying to be out of their eye line.
Yes. Okay, then roll
It
stealth.
doesn't work anyway. I rolled a natural
Right.
one
I have a
Oh,
really
God.
bad
for
idea.
a 6.
Okay.
Really bad idea.
Oh no.
10.
Okay.
That's why we
Sweat
don't do
great.
anything at the
Wow.
party. That's why I
Wow.
was saying.
This went
Don't
so
do
great.
anything.
All right.
Oh no.
So,
don't do anything at the party.
Eclipse, you reposition.
I'm just gonna sit there. I'm not talking to them or anything.
You look, and you feel yourself looking, probably through the glances of a couple people around you, a little out of place and a little awkward, largely because of the fact that while there are a number of private guards throughout with various patrons of this gala, and you've seen them, they are very much tied to the patron that they're with.
Right.
And then there are a number of Ivory Guard that you've seen who are posted up in not in that way. But you are you
Somewhere
seem
in
like
the
neither of
middle.
those things right now. Yes.
Yeah.
You seem more like a private guard because obviously you're not in Ivory Guard attire, but you're posted up the way the Ivory guards are, and you're not currently with what many people would assume to be your charge. So you're getting a couple glances and you feel that. It doesn't mean you can't be doing that by any means. It just means that's the stature you're in right now.
It is not abnormal to me, so I will continue doing what I do.
True. Yasnip, you make your way, attempting to make your way out of sight. There is one point where a woman in a far too large, what are these things at the bottom of the gowns that poof
Skirt?
out? Yeah, but there's like where they almost wear cages and it poofs it way out. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Whatever that is. Don't
Not a
ask me about
petticoat.
fashion.
Petticoats?
Is it?
Maybe, I don't know.
It might be.
In any case,
Something like
the largeness of the skirt or the bottom of her dress is such that it gets in people's way, which she's probably intends on. And she bumps into you, and there's a slight like awkward shuffle and a bit of an exclamation from her. And when you continue forward, if you look, do you look at the Rorks? Or are you aiming for a spot without watching them?
Just so I have this right, she bumped into me in that case,
Yes.
right?
And there was a bit of an exclamation that happened.
I would say I don't look at the Rorks.
Okay. And Eclipse, you are just watching the room. You're not watching them, correct?
Right.
Okay. So then you continue in your attempted stealth towards this position, set up there, finally look back towards Eclipse, see her standing. I'm assuming at some point look to the Rorks to see if they're moving.
Yeah.
See them not moving.
Cool.
And not particularly changed at all in their demeanor. They are still in this like 45-degree angle to each other, each holding wine, half talking to each other, half looking out at the party kind of positioning.
Can I see their son from here?
Roll a perception check.
Where was that? A billion years ago. Say 24. I think.
A 24!
Yeah.
Okay. You scan once again, now from your new vantage point, which, as it turns out, you actually did get a new vantage point, and it's helpful. And as you are very well trained to do, spot the things that are happening in the area. You do see Reed a little ways across the room speaking to one of the Ivory Guard that's posted. And you watch him for about 20 seconds, and he, like, there's a nod exchange, and then watch him for another 20 seconds as he moves, and he gets to another one and seems to have a similar exchange. Seems he's interacting with the Ivory Guard at the gala in some way. Are either of you going to attempt anything else with the Rourke parents?
I have something, but I know if it doesn't work, it's going to be absolutely ridiculously bad.
Well.
I'm really curious
Yep.
what ridiculously bad means.
Yeah. Am I near a pillar?
Here we go.
Yes,
Or, like,
there
am
are
I near-
pillars.
Okay.
There are pillars. Well, to be clear, there aren't a bunch of pillars throughout the room, like down the center of this ballroom, but there are pillars like towards the corners and in the edges, like creating small archways in the corners and into hallways and things like that. And there would be one over here in this sort of cornerish wall area where you've posted up. It's, I don't know what you're intending, but it's just not like out in the center of a room or something like that.
I'm basically looking for some way nearby, if possible, to conceal my hand or assist with concealing my hand.
Okay.
Whether it's a table or like a cloth or something that's nearby that I'd be able to perform the somatic components of a spell with.
What spell?
Minor illusion.
Okay, that's
It
a
is
cantrip.
somatic and material. It is a cantrip.
Yeah, there's not a. It's not going to be.
I will tell you what I'm trying to do, and you will tell me if it's feasible for me to do this. So I'll give you the thought. You ready?
Yes, but I may or may not
What,
tell
right
you
for
if
you?
it's feasible. I may just listen to what you have to say and then
Just-
ask if you're going to do it or not.
So you know what I'm trying to do. At least.
Yes, go. Yeah, go for it.
I am going to try to create Sam's voice in a very subtle whisper on the opposing side of the Rorix and make a reference as if she's talking to Reed. And it's going to be like 3 words, indiscriminate, a whisper, enough to catch their attention, but also enough to make it be like, did I actually just hear that? That's my
Okay.
goal. And to
Okay.
be unseen in doing so.
The, you can do the. Let me pull up minor illusion really quick. There is a range to this.
30 feet.
Within.
It
Okay,
can
create a
range from a
sound within
whisper
range.
to a scream. It can be my voice, someone else's voice, a lion's roar, any other sound I choose. I can make discrete sounds at different times. I'm just looking to create a very hushed, short whisper, something to the effect of Sam's voice saying read, like distinctly read, and then maybe like a little bit of a mumble. Enough to tell that it is Sam's voice. On the
Are you
opposing
saying
side of them.
read watermelon? What? What?
No, it's read and then indiscriminate, like you indistinguishable of what it is.
Okay.
The next 2 words.
So-
just
so
her
it-
sound.
Where
In
the
volume,
frick are
in
my
volume
kids?
perspective, like you're trying to reduce it at the end, or blur or slur it in such
Yes.
a way. Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah. I'm trying to fuck with their
What a
head
wild card.
to get them
Okay.
to buy
Oh
the
my
fact that
God.
she's around, but she's actually not. I want them to
Oh.
start looking for her so I can
Okay.
close
Over
the
their
distance to get
shoulder.
near.
Okay. Now, additional clarification here. So you can create this whisper within 30 feet. If you
Yes.
stand 30 feet from them and create it right next to them, it's going to seem like she's right there.
Correct.
Unless you want to try to physics almost the volume decrease, like the decrease in volume that would happen if she was 15 feet or 20 feet from them. So what are you trying to do in that
So-
respect? Because it also then matters how close you get to them to
Yeah.
pull off what you're trying to do.
How far am I right now? Because I was already trying to be near-ish.
I would say you're about 20 to 15 feet from them at the most.
Okay. If the nearest place for me to achieve this, like if there's like a little pillar, I'm very conscientious of my hand. If there's something within 20 feet, I would do it at the 10-foot mark beyond them, like towards the wall, if possible.
Okay.
I don't know the layout of the room, so you let me know.
So they're not like standing in the corner, but they are more towards the corner of the room, probably about 10 or 15 feet from a wall.
If they're at like a table on the other side of the table where guests wouldn't be, something to get them to look away from the middle of the room. That's the goal.
Okay. So you're attempting to put it behind them towards a wall that's maybe 10 or 15 feet away, in such a way that they would hear it as if it was 15 feet away behind them by a bit.
Correct.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to close the distance after that to be close enough to overhear if they say anything.
Okay. And do you care particularly about hiding the somatic components from them or from everyone?
Ideally, everyone, but
Okay.
more importantly, from them.
So
I will
everyone is going to be tough.
Mhm.
There's in the limited space you have to get where you want to get to make this happen where you want it to happen. There's not like a big pillar or a tall
Mhm.
table or something that you can easily hide behind. There are some groups of people, and you could sort of do it in a way that they largely cloud the rest of the room and the Rorks
Perfect.
from your
Yep.
action. Okay.
That's perfect.
They
And I'll,
might
like, mess
notice
with
if
my
they're paying
jacket.
attention.
I'll like mess with my jacket at the same time.
Sure. Ish. There are certain like movements required
Yep.
to make this
Yep.
happen. But okay. Okay. Holy mackerel. So I will have you roll a sleight of hand check.
It'll be fine. Can I decide to use the thing after I roll it or no? I have to decide before.
What? Oh, the favor die?
I have one favorite die. Yeah.
Yeah, you can decide afterwards. It's like inspiration
Oh,
kind of.
okay.
Good.
DM inspiration has to be before.
Great.
That's correct. The advantage from the inspiration is different from this. This is like a bonus die.
24.
Okay. All right. And I will say, do you remember in the past, I feel like you have used minor illusion to throw a voice before. Do you
Mhm.
remember if I made you roll to imitate that voice well?
No, because the spell itself says it can be somebody else's voice.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that I'm good with that interpretation. All right.
Also, we hung out with Sam for several weeks. I don't think
You
that's
did.
as hard as like
And
if we were trying to copy.
Nas impersonated her voice to some degree while being her
Yeah.
sister, I imagine.
I
Okay.
did a little bit.
Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. And just to be clear, before describing what happens, your
Mhm.
goal is after this happens to sidle up nearer to them.
Yes.
Near
To be
enough to
within-
potentially hear whispers. They're not gonna. Your guess,
I
I will
know.
just tell you, is that they're not
They're
gonna be
not
like,
gonna
"Did you
say it
just
up
hear
and
Sam,
down.
honey?"
Yeah. Near for whispers, yes.
Okay, that's
it'll
gonna be
be-
that's gonna be really near.
Yep. And I'm going to try to do it in a way where it's not stopping nearby, it's
Got it.
slightly walking past.
Sure. Okay, and you're gonna attempt to time it in such a way that the reactive conversation to what's happening you might be able to hear.
Yes.
Okay. Please hold while I
Mhm.
review what the shit is happening here.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Eclipse, roll. You're not attempting to listen in on the Rorks, are you?
I shouldn't be anywhere near them at this point. They should be basically in my peripheral.
They are in your
Sound
peripheral,
good.
but you're not that far from them because your goal was kind of to go near-ish enough.
I mean,
to
if I can
that
hear
they
them,
may
I'll
notice
try,
you.
but I'm not moving closer to hear them.
No. I'm not talking about being able to hear their whispers. I'm just saying from where you've posted up, are you trying to listen in or are you just trying to be a visual presence? You're probably about 20 feet away as well in the other direction.
I am attempting to listen if they have something to say.
Okay,
Most
then
of
I
my
will say
focus is-
I will say roll an active perception check.
This is wild. I'm so down for this.
This is a lot.
No, the lot would be as if I also use shapeshift to look like Sam for a brief
Ah,
moment.
we're not doing that.
True!
What?
Okay,
I
And
have
threw
refrained from
peppercorns at
that.
them.
that's
To
how we
make him
die.
Blech!
That
pepper.
that is an 18.
18. Okay. All right. So you cast the spell. You feel pretty confident about the stealthiness of your somatic motions. Even the group that is standing right near you that you're kind of using as cover doesn't seem to take any notice of you. Eclipse, you hear, not that far from you, the whisper of Sam's voice, or a voice that sounds like Sam to agree. It is worth noting, it's harder to tell tone, accent, etc. in a whisper than it is vocal speaking. But there's enough in it that and also the word read that you pick up kind of clues you in, like when you hear someone say your own name and so you hear it out of nowhere, and it kind of clicks in that it sounds a little bit like Sam, towards the wall, very close to you, like 5 or 10 feet from you. So, you hear that. Think about what your reaction is to that. In the meantime,
Just in case it triggers their reaction, I'm probably most likely just going to try and lock where he is again and not look at the sound of the voice.
where Yasnip is?
Where,
Or where Reed
is. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, fair enough, because you've just been watching Reed completely across the room, so this is especially weird to you.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I probably, if I drifted off from him, it would probably lock again where he's at, just to be like, what the fuck?
Okay. Yasnip,
Mhm.
you watch both of them turn their heads. It's quicker than that. It's like a this kind of thing.
Mhm.
Towards that direction. Look that direction for a good 5 to 8 seconds. Then both you see Clara look to Raymond, and as she does, Raymond looks out like across the crowd, across the room. You're not sure what he's looking at. As Clara looks at him, you heard that. He continues looking across the room. Doesn't respond. You're sort of passing now. He leans in a little closer, points across the room. Do you look where he's pointing, or are you focused on them?
I am not reacting to anywhere that they're pointing.
Okay. Points across the room.
Purely listening.
He's there. I don't understand. We should talk with him. He looks back over her shoulder. She's still looking up at him, towards the area where the whisper came from. You pass at this point. Don't hear any more words exchanged. And what are you doing? Where are you going?
Over to Eclipse.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are you convening with Eclipse to have a debrief, or are you just going to stand there?
I'm just gonna stand there.
Okay. Eclipse, Yasnip shows up alongside you. You're still watching Reed.
Do I catch them in my peripheral at all? Or are they not making big enough motion to catch my...
They're making very slight. If you're watching Reed, or you're not intending to watch them, you're not going to pick up on what they're doing.
Okay. Then yeah, I... Probably for the sake of, if for whatever reason, because I have no idea what's going on, she's standing there, I'm not going to make any motion to draw attention to it.
Okay. You certainly see no one.
Yeah.
Having said that, you have seen magical capabilities
Exactly.
from Sam.
That's why I'm not...
Yeah. So
I have not looked
who
at where
knows
that
what's
came
going
from.
on.
I have only clocked where he is, just in case.
Right. Okay.
For headcanon, Eclipse is how far from the Rorix?
Maybe 20 feet.
Yeah.
Kind of how you had set up, she had set up on the other side in a sort of similar triangular sort of thing. So that's where she is from then. So as you sidle up along, I'm assuming on the other side of her, you are very much within their sight if they cared to look.
Mm-hmm.
Eclipse, you feel Yasnip sidle up alongside you.
I need to tell you something, but I don't think I can do it right now. I will wait. I'm gonna wait to say anything until, because I heard that they said that they need to talk to him. I'm gonna wait to tell Eclipse anything until they start to move.
Until the Rourke start to move?
Mhm.
Okay. In the meantime, Eclipse, you have, since separating from Yasnip, clocked Reed, and you had previously had conversed with him about clocking Reed and being unable to do so. Do you point him out to Yasnip at all, or are you just standing stoic?
If he has made no intention to speak to me, I'm gonna wait. Because
Okay.
right now I have no idea what's going on, and I do not plan on drawing any more attention than I already have.
Okay. I will also just throw out to you. This is very much all up to you and what you want to do. But as far as you know, you just heard Sam's voice.
Yep.
Without any understanding of Yasnip's
Why
plan.
or how? Yeah, no, I'm still.
Okay, you're just gonna stand stoic
I'm just
for now.
gonna stand right here because I will fuck something up if I don't.
Okay.
No matter what it is.
Okay.
It's not my job.
Well, we'll see. You might
We'll
get
see how that
chance.
Okay, and last
part
I
two.
hope question to this particular setup.
All right.
Mhm.
They don't leave immediately.
Mm-hmm.
At what period of time of waiting for them to do something or to move would either of you look back to them or clock or observe them in any other way? Give me a seconds or minutes number.
I will say, if they don't move within 20 seconds, I will lean towards Eclipse, still not necessarily making. I guess I don't know where Reed is, so I will say, placing myself where I'm looking into the party. If they don't move in 20 seconds, or I don't catch them out of like peripheral that they're moving in 20 seconds, I'm going to lean to Eclipse and just say, well, that may have prompted a discussion. Can you message Brightwing?
Yeah.
To listen in on what might happen?
Yeah, if that hasn't, again, same thing. I'm waiting for him to talk to me. So if they haven't moved in that time, I think once he mentions Brightwing, I'll probably drift to find where she is next, kind of casually panning the room again, like with my eyes.
Drift your eyes. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm not
20
keeping eyes on him constantly. It's just
Got it.
I'm kind of pinning where people are and then casually continuing the gaze, just keeping a general
Understood.
sweep on the room.
Okay. 20 seconds goes by without them moving, so this all happens.
Great.
You roll a perception check, Eclipse.
I'm gonna do something. A 9.
9.
She's short, so this takes a while.
You haven't.
I will say over
That's
the
the
next.
problem.
Here's what I'll say. Over the next. The scan that you make, you don't see her.
Right.
This takes a few seconds.
Which is fine.
So, the 20 seconds that went by, the question that I asked was, would you ever clock them again? The answer that I got was more some other things that you would do. Would you, at a further point down the line, clock them again, or are you just going to ignore them until they move?
If knowing me and the way that I have done my work, if I can add them to my periphery enough to see them without looking at them, yes.
Okay.
If I know that I have to look at them, then no.
Okay, at what time frame beyond this 20 seconds would you do that? How long would you wait to intend to get them in your vision rather than just waiting for them to move,
I
which
think
was your
I
initial
would probably
plan?
wait 10 seconds. Because I
Okay.
imagine it's just been a pan like this the whole time.
Got it.
So I think when I get to that side of the room, if they haven't moved, then I'll try to add it a little further over
Sure.
to look,
Okay.
and then continue panning back.
And Yasnip, what about you?
I think I am out of possible ways to make this go wrong, so I will actively look to where Faye and Brightwing are.
Okay. All right. Also, just to clarify, not Yasnit. Your apparel is more party goer than it is guard. Correct?
Yeah. Eclipse and I kind of match. She's black fur, white suit. I'm half black, half white suit. We kind of have our monochrome thing going.
Yes, but Eclipse is wearing. Oh, are you wearing armor?
My armor canonically is under my clothes, so
Okay.
could be.
Okay.
I
And your
believe
weapon
as
is
far as
fully
we would be.
concealed.
My weapon
Eclipse-
does not exist right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Eclipse, you have your sword and shield on you. If I'm not mistaken. Your
Yes.
extra spear is in the bag.
I
But
yeah, I
believe
think
you
I
have your
kept them on because there was the intention that yes, I am supposed to look
Spear and
this
shield.
way.
And I have the bag.
Yes. Okay. So, what I will say with that regard, wanted to clarify, is that Eclipse, having previously clocked the sort of awkward stature that you had as a guardee-less guard, you get the sense that it's probable or possible that some people might now assume Yasnip is your charge, and you are there to guard him because his armor is not as bulky as yours.
Right.
And he has no weapons, so he looks much more blending in as a guest. So, given this is your profession more or less, you would understand that, and you sense that it takes a little bit of the tension off of what are you doing in the way you're doing. Okay. In the meantime, Brightwing and Faye, you went to the other room, if I'm not mistaken, to get victuals.
Snacks.
Vittles!
It's probably been a few minutes. Are you hanging in there, eating, chatting, or are you grabbing some stuff and coming back to the main ballroom to try to find your people? What are you guys doing?
Are others walking around with like little plates of like nums or okay?
There are attendants with plates of hors d'oeuvres and drinks, and there
Okay.
are also people who've made little plates from these tables that are like walking about, and there are also like scattered throughout this room, the room with all the food, like those tall, kind of narrow round tables where people will stand and like snack on things and have conversations around like little 2-3 foot diameter table.
So I think I'm gonna like at the tables shove like as much food as I can because we haven't eaten
No.
since earlier today, and it's probably later in the evening now.
Mm-hmm.
And then put like a little care package plate together. I'm gonna put. Okay. I'm gonna look around. I'll look back for Eclipse and Yasnet.
Okay, you would probably need to exit this room. From where you are in this room, there's like a sort of entryway from the main ballroom that opens into this large secondary room where all the food is. And because they're off to an edge of that ballroom, you can't see them from where you are. You need to go back to the entryway or into the ballroom to find them again.
Oh, they gone.
That was
Okay.
not funny.
Yeah, you don't have line of sight on them right now.
Got it. Okay.
You two don't
Sorry.
know that, which is why I had Eclipse roll, but
Yeah.
Faye does know that.
Yep. Thank you. I'm having a hard time visualizing this place, so I apologize.
Yeah.
I wish I could try to draw it out.
You're fine. I think I get it now.
Very briefly, large rectangular room that forms this main ballroom. Off the sides of it are those hallways that are cordoned off at the end, and there are like bathrooms and powder rooms scattered throughout. And then on the other side, so the entryway is down here. On the other side from where you entered, there is that other room. There's like a large open entryway that opens into this other room, another big rectangular room, the back wall of which is all windows and looks out into that garden area. and that room is where all the banqueting stuff is. So there's like a choke point where you can't see through unless you're in the middle of one room seeing into the middle of the other room.
Got it.
Is there something that is like a food item that is like handheld?
There
Or
are
is
many
everything-
food items that are handheld.
Like without a plate, like without
Like a little
package-
quiche?
Yeah, something like
Or like
just
an
something
apple
like
or a peach?
I don't know. I don't know. What...
If you want to name
Kebab?
something, it's probably here. The spread is insane.
Okay.
But yes, there are many things like that.
Yeah, I would think like a little fruit pie or something with like a pretty
Yes.
solid crust.
Yes, very, very doable.
Okay. I'm gonna like hold that and as we walk out, like eat a bunch of stuff, have a plate of stuff, and then I'm gonna use the wrist pocket ring to put it away,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
walk up to Eclipse and Nas, and probably takes about a minute to walk over there because it's not actual wrist pocket. It's my little ring that only lasts for a minute.
Yes. So before you do that, because your period of time to get to that point where you're coming back in is around the same period of time that it took for us to wrap up what they were doing. So before you have a chance to walk across, the 10 seconds for Eclipse to scan ends. You get back to them. When you scan back to them, you catch Raymond's eye briefly.
Fuck.
And then he, in that way that you do when you didn't really need to be looking at someone and you accidentally kind of look at someone, he looks away out into the room. Do you do anything immediately?
I pan back like I've been trying to make it look like a habit this entire time, so I don't.
Okay. Okay.
I resist every urge in my body.
Okay.
He averted gaze?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like he got caught.
Like their
Mhm.
gazes went like this, and they locked at the same time, and they went and like
You don't know how long he was looking at you, and of
Yeah.
course no one knows this except Eclipse.
Yeah.
But yes, she caught a brief moment of eye contact and then he looked away. It wasn't like a super
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
trying to hide thing, but it was just that awkward eye contact that wasn't intended, looked away kind of thing. You avert. Yasnip, correct me if I'm wrong, you had said you were going to be looking for Faye and Brightwing. Okay.
Yep.
So you're watching for them. Another 20 seconds goes by, and in both of your peripheries, you see the Rorks moving across the room. Around that same time, Faye and Brightwing, you get back into the main room. Roll a perception check. Both of you, if you want. If Brightwing, you're doing the same thing Faye is.
You gonna come up here and help me?
6.
Okay?
19.
19.
There it is.
Okay.
So
Faye,
Faye
you
starts walking this way.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
no.
scan the room.
Oh,
You see what you
No.
think is a tiefling over there, and maybe that's Yasnip.
That's a
and you
plant.
start
That's a
to head that
man
way.
like standing in front of a plant.
Yep. The horns were not tiefling horns; they were a plant.
Cattails.
Brightwing, you make a quick scan and do see them across the room. And with a 19, you also see, because they're very close and they're moving, the Rorks moving across the room. What do you two do? Oh, Yasnip, go ahead and roll a perception check as well. So many perception checks. I thought it was going to be all deception and insight.
18.
Okay, you clock Brightwing and Faye as they re-enter the banquet hall. So, you two see each other. What is everybody doing?
I'm Brightwing would be like, and I'd
Yes,
like
Brightwing
look up and be
grabs
like, oh, and I'll walk up to those two.
Do they cross paths with those people walking away?
No. So
Okay.
it's like
It's
if
like
you-
they went and we just went
This
behind.
is the corner. This is
Okay.
the corner where you
Mhm.
guys all were
Jesus. Okay.
awkwardly interacting with each other. Reed is now
Okay.
over here somewhere. You guys are coming in from down here. I previously said it was up here, so I should do it that way, but forget north
It's
and
fine.
south.
Okay.
The Rorks are going like this. the Fae and Brightwing
Okay.
are coming like this.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a this kind
Okay,
of thing.
cool.
they're
So they
gonna
have not.
pass each
Okay.
other.
This is a little better. Okay.
No. 44, 45, 46, 47.
Uh-huh. You
I
are booking it
will-
across the room, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
counting.
we
Like
got
the
Faye's counting
earrings,
under
by
her
the
breath.
way.
No,
know.
I
You have
don't.
Trust me, I'm aware.
Okay.
Yeah, you have one, Brightwing.
I am incredibly aware.
Okay. You two quick paste it across the room. You two watch them quick pasting it across the room. You get there with about 10 seconds left on your wrist rocket. Wrist pocket. Wrist rocket is a different spell.
51, 52. Here, are you hungry? Say yes.
Are you making
Yes.
bread?
Woo. And I'll pop a pie out of
Okay. Out suddenly of her hand, seemingly magically out of nowhere, you see this little fruit pie that like almost rocks to a stop.
I didn't put mine away. I just brought you a plate.
We did a thing.
Were we not? Well, I guess.
Eclipse, this is the first you're hearing of a thing.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, but first, you.
Yes,
Bread.
me.
We had bread, right? Didn't you make bread? Do you remember doing that?
We did. Brightwing told me.
Okay, we're good.
Oh!
This is Canon Brightwing. Canon Brightwing doesn't know.
Speaking of bread,
I haven't seen you people.
before I
No.
eat this food that you've magically procured straight in front of my face, are you
That's
actually my
crazy.
friend?
Hey,
Yep, yep,
listen.
That's great.
That's some weird shit going on.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh!
While we're talking, I am going to keep an eye on the people walking away from us.
Okay. That is
While
doable.
just Okay, so what the hell was that?
We need to listen and I'll take a
I need
bite
to
of
get
the
over
pie.
there because they're going towards him right now, and
I
I'm just gonna
know.
kind of do this with my ears
With
to
your
kinda
ear?
gesture in that direction.
Okay. Okay.
Going that way.
Just
That way.
This way.
Brightwing,
It's a
Brightwing
flick.
and Faye. Well, Faye particularly, you have no idea what she's going on about. Brightwing, you did see the Rourke's leave, but you really don't know what's been happening. So, just keep that in mind, both of you, as she says this.
Who leave?
The Rourke's.
Oh, I did
Henry,
see them
he's
walk over.
there. Yeah.
Oh.
They seem to want to go that way. What did you do?
Should we also go that way?
I
Need to
don't-
hear.
We could meander. Let's wander. Yeah. We'll just turn and start wandering.
Okay.
It's lovely pie, by the way.
This is a terrible
All right.
plan.
All right.
This is a
Let-
terrible plan.
There's a slight.
Okay, while they're
refrigerator
trying to walk
taste.
away, I'm gonna like try to stop them. Okay, I don't know if he knows me, but I did catch a glance with him and he looked away pretty quickly, but it seemed to either be that really like, oh, you catch eyes with somebody you want to look at and you just look away because you're like,
get,
oops,
like,
my bad, or I don't know. I don't know if me meandering with you is a great idea, but I could probably see you from here.
Mm.
They're probably nearing halfway across the room by now, just so
So
you
if
know.
you go, I'm gonna stay here.
We can swap buddies. 2 and
We
2s.
could swap buddies.
Oh. Okay.
So who wants to stay here?
I could stay here with you.
That makes sense. I did pick up your dress, so that's not too weird. Is you gonna go?
Okay.
Alright. Gotta get going.
Nearing 2/3 of the way across the room.
A brief bow and finish the pie
Okay.
and start walking with Brightwing.
Okay.
Is there
I'm-
music playing?
I'm
There is music playing, yes.
going.
Cool.
It is
This
back to
sounds
being a
great.
very non-obtrusive, string quartet situation.
Mhm.
Like what you're actually hearing if you're listening to the music in our ears right now.
So I can't
Okay,
just
so-
point out a tango right in the middle of the floor. Got it.
So Brightwing and Yosnip are attempting to what? You've said wander. What are you actually
Go
doing?
near the Rorks!
Go near the Rorks is what you're doing. That's your plan. Okay. Are you tailing them? Are you gonna go set up next to them like you did previously?
What's near them? Anything near them? Is there
So
anything
they
we can
haven't
interact with
reached the
nearby?
other side of the room yet, so you don't know where they're gonna stop. They are headed towards an edge.
Okay.
You picked up Reed. Did Eclipse
I
point
didn't
out
see
Reed to
Reed.
you? No, Eclipse never points
No,
out Reed
she
to you.
never pointed out Reed.
Okay, yeah, you have no idea where they're going. You're at a distance. You're
I can
halfway
see
across
they're
the
going.
room.
No, I did
No,
point
you-
him out.
Oh, did you?
Literally what
Did
I was
you?
doing. What I was trying to do.
Oh, after I told you. Okay, before the
Mhm.
20-second thing was up. Okay, yes. The
Okay,
20-second
good thing.
thing was
Okay,
up.
okay, I thought that it happened.
Yeah.
So,
Not before
so
the
in
20.
that case, you
I
know,
did when we reconvened because I was like, they're
Where
going
Reed
that
is.
way.
yeah, you know where Reed is. You've seen what he's been doing.
Yeah.
He's continuing to sort of make his way guard by guard in a circumference around the room. They are headed towards what would be like the east side of the room from the way you're coming in, at an angle that, based off how they're moving and how he's moving,
They're
you
intercepting
gather they're intending to sort of get in front of where he's going to end up. You don't
Yeah.
know exactly where they're going to stop, but that's what you see
Mhm.
as of now when they're 2/3 of the way across the room. So,
Matt,
yes.
where did he? We don't know where he started.
Oh,
You don't even know that Reed's here.
Oh, okay.
We saw
So-
Reed when
Although
he
you are
first
with
got
Eclipse. You are with
We saw
Eclipse,
Reed
so
when we
Eclipse wants to
first
be
got
filling
there.
you in. Yeah. You know he's at the gala,
here.
but I mean,
Hmm.
you don't know
Yeah.
that he's separated from the Rorks and doing this thing about the edge of the room.
Yeah.
I will
Annika,
quietly
why
get
does your
her caught
family
up.
suck? Why does your family fucking suck?
I will quietly get Faye caught up on what I believe the situation has been.
Okay,
While she's
which
just standing there.
which is that you and Yosnip made a attempted pincer move to create an accidental encounter with the Rorks that then, to your knowledge, somehow went super haywire when Sam spoke
Mhm.
nearby
Yeah.
you. You didn't see her, and then there
Mhm.
was this weird exchange. Yosnip ended up next to you, didn't really tell you what was going on. You'd been watching Reed the whole time, talking to Ivory guards, and then you had a quick eye contact moment with Raymond, and then the Rorks started making their way across the room. That's what you know, so that's what you
Yep.
communicate?
Yep.
Okay.
Excellent.
ooh.
Great.
So, Faye,
With
that's
that
what you know is
knowledge,
happening.
with
Yeah.
that knowledge,
Uh-huh.
from Eclipse's perspective, I'm going to turn around and face her and like pretend I'm holding my plate and I'm gonna cast sending.
Okay! Two.
Sam.
Okay.
Oh man.
Oh, shit.
Okay, that's valid because I didn't know if it was Sam or not, and we don't know that. So that's happening now. Fuck. Okay.
D&D.
It's nice to be, for a sending to be happening, and I don't have to prepare to answer it.
Yeah, it's just
You have to let her know what she's doing, though. Like, sitting outside the window.
Uh-huh.
Just.
Are you in Ilmara? Because I'm at a party with your bitch husband. And Eclipse heard your voice? What is happening?
your in-laws suck.
Kinda.
Okay. Annika.
Oh, what's up? How's it going?
Hi.
Sam
You
doing?
hold on real quick while I
Uh-huh.
check the calendar. Okay, good. You are at a somewhat seedy tavern in a city that you know, but I'm not going to say out loud. Largely attempting to gather information by listening Sometimes having brief conversations with people who might know the rumors or the secrets. Probably 1.5 drinks in on this Saturday night when you hear Faye's voice in your head say everything you just heard. You have 25 words to respond.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Well, there's a long pause. I don't know where to begin with that. I'm not in Ilmara. What do you mean my bitch-ass husband is there? Where are the kids if he's there?
Nope.
No.
Where are thee is where it
Where
ended.
are they? There you go.
Okay.
Where are they?
Thank you, Annika.
No problem. See you later.
Yep. Well, unless Faye, you want to respond again. I don't know what kind of spell slot situation you're working with here.
I can't hear you, right, when you do this? Sending is...
No, you
I
can.
have
She speaks it
to
out loud.
whisper.
We determined
to-
this previously, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I have to say something.
That's why she turned towards you to make it seem like she's talking
Yeah.
to you.
No, it's fine.
You don't
Yeah.
hear the reply, obviously, but you heard what
Yeah,
Faye said.
I'm just kind of standing there just like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what do you mean, my husband? I'm not married. Oh, you're. Oh, okay. Like, yeah. I think I'm gonna let that one simmer.
Okay. Oh. Okay.
What just happened?
Annika, go ahead and roll a wisdom saving throw and DM me the result.
You got
So
it,
don't make the
Chief.
static real bad.
Oh yeah, was it staticky? Was the response real staticky?
Probably.
It had the somewhat typical underlying static that you have heard when sending to Sam.
Hmm.
It didn't seem any particularly worse or better than the last time you sent it to her. Okay, so that's happening. Or that has happened. And you two are going to simmer on that side of the room. Meanwhile...
Well, she's simmering. I'm fucking confused, which is not.
Yes,
so
you
that's
are fucking
totally
confused.
Fine.
I would explain it, but I just wasn't gonna
okay.
respond right away. I would let her know what I did.
Okay.
Not just gonna sit there in silence and stare at you and just watch you
Yeah.
be confused.
And
It's
are you
fine.
are you communicating her reply to Eclipse?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the
So,
same
Eclipse, you're caught up.
conversational
Okay.
like facade.
Okay, so with that in mind, Eclipse, you have now been given the information that from Faye's retelling of Sam's sending, she is not here. So whatever you heard before, you now don't know what's going on. It might have just added to the confusion, not clarified it. So that's what's happening on that side of the room. Yasnep, back to Yasnep and Brightwing. So I think we tore away from you briefly amidst the what are you gonna do, where are you gonna go. So where are you gonna go, what are you gonna do? I will say I will say essentially this. Unless you're trying to catch up to them. Are you trying to catch up to them as they walk? Okay, you're nonchalant.
Yes.
Okay, then in that
I will
case...
say, in the directional pattern thing, because now that the square with the square, the other entryways below, right? Because we were in the top left, and the entryway to the banquet hall is in the bottom middle, is what it sounded like. So the Rorks were going diagonal, top left to bottom right. I think we would probably start to go top left to top right and start to like go around the outside of the room.
Okay. So you're attempting to slightly mirror Reed.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait,
And-
do you mean he's coming this way? He's coming along the bottom?
Yes, he's coming along. He's coming along the side where the banquet is.
So he's on the bottom.
Yeah, circling back towards. He's now on the east side, coming back towards the entrance.
Is he going clockwise or counterclockwise?
Clockwise, if you're coming in from the entrance, facing the banquet hall.
Clockwise is clockwise, man.
Okay, so he's going this
True.
way.
Valid.
Don't fucking do this to me.
Shit.
Not
why
again.
are the orcs going- So the orcs are going straight towards the banquet then. If he's going clockwise and they're going to meet him, they're doing this.
Okay. Hold on.
Hold
Hold on.
Because you
Draw
were
it
saying they were
out!
going top left. You said they were going top left to bottom right, and now it's like bottom left to top left.
Yeah, but I think when I said that, I said ignore the north-south portion of this. All right, you guys see a white map here?
Yeah, hold on. Let's
Where?
get everybody
Hold
in
on.
this area.
Where?
Roll
Someone's gonna
20.
have to
Roll
explain
20.
it, 'cause
Roll 20.
I'm not logged into roll
Oh,
20.
I'm
right
on
now.
roll 20. Let's see.
But if I roll
Oh.
20, it'll click away to it. But I guess that makes sense.
What in the hell is that?
It's hard to say where I'm going when I don't know where the fuck I am.
Second, not in the
Okay.
roll 20.
Opening planar transport.
Someone can provide a screenshot.
Okay.
He's drawing right now, so hold on.
Yes.
Uh,
I mean,
Are you
game.
seeing?
the fact-
Are you seeing
Yeah,
now?
I can see it, yeah.
Okay. So this
Frick.
is entry. This is bank. What the hell is that? Okay. What is? Can I have a pencil, please? Roll 20. No, I
Banquet.
cannot.
This problem.
I got you.
Thank you.
Banquet.
How did you do that? And why can't I?
Freehand.
I'm on freehand, but it's doing this.
Change your secondary color to transparent.
Oh, yep, that is what it is. I am dumb. There we go. Okay, thank you. That's wow. The struggle is real. That's the banquet hall. I'm just gonna put a little line here. These are the little side halls. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. In the back of this banquet hall is where the big glass window area is that opens up to the garden. This is obviously where you came in from down here.
Yeah.
Okay. The Rourke Yosnit Eclipse interaction happened around here.
Okay.
When that was happening, Reed was around here, going
Okay.
this way.
Got it.
When it happened, and then you guys waited about a minute. The Eclipse and Fae, Brightwing and Fae did this.
hmm
The Rourkes did this.
Okay. That's where.
And
the
now you guys are attempting to do a similar thing. So they're attempting to end up somewhere over here or maybe over here to intercept Reed, who's continuing to come around this way.
Okay. So.
Ready, break!
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
thank you.
So
That's
that's
what
the
it looks
case.
Yes.
Maybe it's
So,
like, let me take you
it-
to the banquet hall. And
It
we
makes the most sense if you came from there. Just putting this in perspective, if your motion was that way, that our motion would continue this way.
So you are mirroring Reed.
Okay. This.
Yes, we are.
We're trying to end up here.
You're doing the circle around the edge, but counterclockwise, so as to mirror
Correct.
him.
Why am I
Okay.
green?
So as to come, if they're watching him approach, you'd be coming from behind them.
Yep.
He would be coming towards you, obviously.
Yep.
Okay. So what essentially happens is, because of the timing, they get to their landing spot, which is there an eraser in here?
There
Oh,
should
I have
be,
to do.
yeah.
I have to do this.
Control Z.
Oh, good heavens. There we go. Okay. It's this circle here.
Got it.
That's their landing spot. They get there when you get about halfway across the room.
Mhm.
So you are able to instigate your maneuver,
Mhm.
end up coming around towards that green X that you drew towards them.
Yep.
Okay. His movement is much slower than yours because he's stopping every 30 or so feet and having a brief conversation. So you are able to make the full rotation and get around towards them. How close are you two attempting to get to the Rorks?
Okay. So
It is also worth noting that they are at the wall close to this hallway, as shown by that circle.
This is a terrible idea. This is an absolutely terrible idea. We might have to do it.
There's the Rorks because we don't like them.
Gross. Nasty. Nasty.
And down the hallway, there's rooms. Yes.
Down the hallway, there are rooms. Yes, there are several little powder rooms and bathrooms and such.
Okay.
So
Are you recording this Roll20 image, Brian?
Yes, I am.
Okay, excellent. All right, there's
Yeah.
now a Raymond and a Clara over there.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
We need to hear them.
yes.
We can be invisible.
That's what I was thinking too.
Do not leave the hallway.
I was thinking that too. Well, Matt,
Yes.
how well can I hear from just my because it's 22 passive perception. I know I can't
Yes.
hear a full-on blown conversation, but
Yeah.
like what would you say be like the distance of
Yes. Here's what I would say. If you're leaving feet to another time, because we have a specific layout here. If you
Yeah.
stood just inside the corner of the hallway and you rolled bright, this is my answer to Leah, rolled really well, or as far as Brightwing would understand, if you were just honed in and there was not a lot of distracting sounds, it's possible that you could pick up whispered conversation. You could definitely pick up regular, lowish toned conversation from the distance that the Rorks are standing at now. But it's on the line. To be confident that you could hear whispered conversation, you would have to be within less than 10 feet, even with your perception, because you're not like a,
No, I would not
CIA
think so.
device. You can just hear a little better than normal people.
Okay.
So if you want to stay inside the edge of the hallway, it's going to make it a difficult roll, as Leah would understand it.
Yeah.
It would be on the fringe as Brightwing would understand it. That's what I'll say.
There's the hall, and there's bathrooms down this hall.
There are, like little washrooms and bathrooms.
They're like singulars for one person?
Rooms. Yes.
Cool. I'm going to, as we get close, walk down one of those halls with Brightwing.
Okay.
And, kind of nod towards her and nudge her towards one of the powder rooms. And I will, grab her by the hand and open the door and, allow her to begin to walk inside. And as she goes in, I'm going to cast invisibility. And pull my hand back on her and pull her back out into the hallway and then let the door shut and turn around and stand in front of it.
Ooh, snazzy. Okay. I like that enough. I'm going to say take a DM inspiration for that. That's cool. Okay. Okay. Just to be clear, invisibility requires what components?
I will tell you in just a moment.
Get some more water, guys. 1 second.
Invisibility is VSM.
Okay. Okay. Oh boy, there's a lot going on here. All right, so brief time wind. As you two are circling, I need Brightwing. Leah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
You'll probably hear.
Okay. Brightwing,
Mm-hmm.
given the fact that you were watching their movement, and then as you've come around, you're continuing to clock everything, and with your passive perception, you roll an insight check for me.
Oh, there's a dice here. In the bathroom.
Incredible.
Actually,
Yeah, there is. There's a
Roll for poop.
I was just filling my water bottle in the sink. That's so funny. My modifier is an 8. So a 14 plus 8.
Okay. 22.
Yeah.
As you're coming around, you see one of those rifleman figures
Mm-hmm.
making his way from a different spot in the room across the room, and with your both perception and insight checks,
My drink.
your passive perception and your insight check both being 22, this person, this figure, has a bead on the Rorks and appears to be repositioning in order to have better accessibility to them.
Okay. Okay.
Okay? Brightwing and Brightwing and Yasnip, roll stealth checks for your approach and sneak into this hallway without being seen by any number of people that could be watching for this.
So this one's not at advantage yet because I'm not invisible.
No, this is not an advantage. This is a brief rewind.
Okay, a rewind.
22.
Damn.
17.
Okay. You guys make your way into the hallway. Attempt to pull off this invisibility bathroom door maneuver. Yasnip, I will have you roll a sleight of hand check since there are somatic components and you're trying to disguise it within this move. I'll say, well, no, I won't say roll it with advantage. You can use that DM inspiration for it if you want, but
23.
okay.
I lied. 22.
Wow, lots of 22s. Okay, yank her back out. The door closes. You take a brief glance around the hallway. No one seems to have noticed anything untoward. Brightwing, you look down at yourself. You are invisible. What are you both doing?
I am standing guard.
At the bathroom door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is, I will say, about 20 feet into the hallway. Brightwing?
I think Brightwing is a little confused for 10 seconds. And it's just like doing this. You can't see herself. But then she's like, gets it and goes. And I'll get to the spot that's right on that corner. And like hitch right there. If there's like a plant or something.
There's probably a big planter thing on
Yeah.
the edges of here, yes, and maybe a
Like-
pillar of an archway into this
Yeah.
hallway.
To like stand where someone would not like walk into.
Are you going outside against the wall outside the hallway, or staying on the inside of the hallway?
How close are they to the to that? Like, could I like go near and like stand right?
If you come just around the edge and stand against the wall outside the hallway, you'll be about 10, 15 feet from them. If
And
you came
is
out
that
and
a-
sidled up, a little more, you'd get to that range where you'd feel confident you could hear whispers. You'd be getting very close, like
Yeah.
8 to 10 feet, maybe.
It's also canonically, Brightwing is barefoot.
That is true.
Saying.
No clippity cloppy. He
No
is
clip
here.
clops.
No clip, no clop.
Where are you posting, Brightwing?
I guess, is there a place like here that is out of the way of someone bumping into me?
Yes. So because of the like pillar archway around this hallway and a little planter on either side, you can like tuck up next to that and a little against the wall in such a way that someone would have to be really wanting to like hide in this particular corner and talk secrets with someone to ever bump into you. Right now you see no one doing that, and being as close as you are to the Rorks, you think it's probably pretty unlikely that someone's going to come up that close and hang against the wall next to them
Okay.
weirdly.
And how close I am from right there?
If you hang just outside the hallway, I'll say you're like 12 feet. If you want to, you're going to need to sidle up a little more to feel super confident that you're in range of can hear whispers easily.
Okay.
Where you are, you probably will have to roll. I'll just say flat.
Oh, I thought I had to roll anyway to over here. If I'm more
Yeah,
confident.
At a point of closeness, your passive will kick in, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Then I'll stay where I am
Okay.
and just roll for it.
Okay. All right. So you're posted.
And I will ask, can I shift, or is shift like a magical thing that will break invisibility?
Shift will not break invisibility because it has to be. Brian, you have the spell, but I believe it is casting a spell or an attack, making an attack.
Yes.
But
correct.
racial features and things don't affect it.
Okay, then I'll shift to really hone in,
Okay.
and I will try to overhear. I will wait till he gets there because my shift only lasts a minute.
Got it.
So,
All right.
but-
So you're waiting for Reed to get up to them and a conversation to start, and you're gonna shift.
Yeah.
Okay. Yosnip, you are waiting by the bathroom door, big chillin', guarding no one who's in there.
Mm-hmm. They don't know
Eclipse
that.
and yep. Eclipse and Faye, you are standing on the other side of the room, watching. I assume this unfold.
I have a thing, but I will wait.
Until after contact is made.
It would probably happen simultaneously, but I want to let Leah get her turn first.
Okay. And just for your headspace, both of you, this room is not several hundred, a few hundred feet across, and you're on the opposite end, so you guys are a few hundred feet away from this situation. Are you cool with that?
how close do you have to be for the earrings?
120.
Part of my plan was that once they went down the hallway, I was going to suggest that we start very slowly and casually making our way along that, like a similar path to what they followed around the outside. But I have a reason for that, but I don't want to jump on what Leah's doing, so I can, but I would,
Okay.
we would be,
Listen, I don't know
would
what
try to
I'm
head
doing.
that
See them
direction.
anymore. so we
Leah's
don't
currently
know.
waiting.
Once they
Brightwing is
disappeared down the
waiting.
hallway to the bathroom, then I
Yeah,
would
you
start
lost sight.
moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you wanna suggest to Eclipse that you guys move as well.
To be closer, yeah.
Okay.
Also
All right. So
light.
you
She starts
250
moving.
on
I'm
the
following
earrings.
her lead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
250 on the earrings. I thought it was longer than 120. Message is 120, I think.
Messages.
Messages
120.
120.
Okay. All right.
Wait,
so
how,
you guys
how,
are
long, how big are the earrings?
250.
Well, they're only like gemstones,
250.
but they go 250.
Yeah.
And would that connotate casting a
Nope.
That's a
spell?
spell. It's not?
It's using an
well.
item.
You read the item. You read the item. Does it say you use it to cast a spell, or does it say it functions like the spell, or something like that?
This can be used to cast an amplified and altered version of the spell.
Okay,
message,
then yes, then it would.
which somebody
if-
could cast to her.
Yes, that's correct. If you respond, that doesn't count as casting a spell. But if
But
you
you are still
use the
talking.
earring actively, yes,
Mm,
that's
true.
also true. You have to speak. Okay, table is set. Reed continues to move around. takes about another, I'll say, 90 seconds before he sees them. Brightwing, Eclipse, and Faye, you would all clock that if you're watching, which you could tell me if you're not. He sees them while, and then has another conversation with another guard, but you see him clock them and like give an acknowledging glance. Finishes that conversation and approaches them. Close. The three of them sort of knit together. Brightwing, you're staying at your 12-ish foot distance. Faye, are you waiting till after this to do something? Or is your thing activating
when they
now?
disappeared, so I want to follow along the route that bitch husband was going. So maybe it would probably be the other way.
Oh, that is the other way.
Yeah, I realize now. I look back at the map, so I wanted to
Okay.
follow in his wake.
I see.
And I want to try to sense the reactions of the people that he speaks with. Like if he's been pointed out to me and I can see that he is like, by the time he gets to like, once I clock him and the time he gets to the second or third and I can see that he's doing a thing, I want to start walking in that direction and like looking and seeing what kind of reactions these guards are having.
So you're attempting to maybe glean off of them what kind of conversation he's having with
Are they like straightened
What
up? Do they have a
impression he's
concern?
leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they very trained and have no reaction? Like what is
Okay.
what's the what?
Okay, so Eclipse and Faye are going the other way then, around clockwise, the sort of circling behind Reed. Roll an insight check, Faye, for these last few conversations. DC is kind of high because you're reading people's faces across
Yeah.
rooms, but
16.
okay. The most you can get is that there is an exchange that looks largely like superior to commanding officer to underling. It is like a very formal stance, like the way he's got his hands behind his back, the way that they perk up a little bit when he approaches, and then like either give him a salute or a deferential nod at some point during the conversation, and then he moves on. That's the most you can gather. How far behind him do you want to end up when he gets to the Rorks?
I would try to find some reason to stop. Probably within like 30 or 40 feet.
Okay.
Probably closer to like 30 feet away, and maybe we'll start and stop as we kind of make our way around. So like walk around a little bit, stop, and like not like hunting for something, but just kind of meandering and like trying to place like I'm trying to strategically place myself in areas and then be like, oh, no one's talking to me, I'll move over here, and have that kind of be the vibe.
Okay. All right. So you guys stop a ways behind Reed. Reed reaches the Rorks. Brightwing is in place to listen. Nas is in the hallway. And that is where we will take a break. coming back in. Brightwing.
Mm-hmm.
You see Reed reach the Rorks, approach them, arms crossed. You hear, roll a perception check, because you've chosen that route with advantage.
And I'll use my 8.
Okay, use your favor die.
That's pretty good. 28.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. You hear Raymond, the father. We may have an issue. Your former spouse. We heard what sounded like her voice there, saying your name. Are you sure? No. It was faint and fleeting, but your name may not have been her, but if it wasn't, I don't appreciate to think who or what it was or why. I'll look into it. And you see him like lightly put his hand on Clara's shoulder or upper arm, give a slight squeeze, and then head off across the room. While this is happening, Faye, you see from your vantage point the dry car walk from behind a group of people into your vision, heading, if you're looking at the map, from east to west, largely, or more like east to northwest, as if kind of towards the banquet area, past you, largely, pretty much in front of you. And he catches your eye. You see his. He gives like a brief nod and a slightly raised eyebrows, and then glances out towards the way he's going. And a small smile. Just a very slight indication, you get the sense that his performance may be soon, and he's just acknowledging you as he heads that way. And then he heads behind another group.
So it was like just an acknowledgement and like more kind of like a
Yes.
Oh, by the way, not an invitation to follow.
No.
Okay.
You don't get that sense. And then he disappears behind a group of people. Again, you lose sight of him. What are your thoughts in that moment?
Like what my thoughts are. I mean, starting at what point, because we're moving. I'm looking.
When you're standing there in the corner.
Uh-huh.
You're paying attention. The dry car catches your vision. You see this happen. You see this acknowledgement. He disappears behind a group of people. You lose sight of him. In that moment, what are your thoughts?
Well, I would say I wonder. I would at this point, because I had no knowledge of the invisibility plan. Probably be musing up until the point where I reach eye contact with him. Would be like, I thought Brightwing was over here. Don't see Brightwing. Great. Okay. Excellent. Moving on. And then if I see him, I think my mind would kind of like skip, you know what I mean? Like that thought would skip to a stop. And then a little bit of just like more of a feeling of wanting approval.
Okay.
Did he cast detect thoughts on you?
Do you
Somebody
get?
did.
Is it a
Not in like a, just in like
powerful magician kind
in
of approval?
from a respect, from wanting respect and wanting to be like recognizing someone who has made it and has done it and has the and is like, it's like a young pianist meeting a master and just saying like, I know I'm not where you're at, but I still want you to think I'm doing it, you know, and
Okay.
and that kind of that vibe. So
Okay. As that flurry of thoughts ends, you feel a feeling that you haven't necessarily felt before, but you understand it and are familiar with it because you've caused it before. That a probe of some kind has been in your mind, or is in your mind. You can choose to make an intelligence check to end that effect if you want. A contested one, assuming it's still going.
Just think about something else. It's like boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
just gonna think of immediately once I felt that probe, replay in real time the moment when Faye got covered in mud when she tripped the trap in the swamp
Okay.
and was just like, and turned around to see everybody's faces and everyone just being like, and
Okay.
having that moment, and see if there's any
Okay.
kind of a reaction.
You don't experience any change.
No, I meant I'm looking around the room.
You don't see. You. What are you looking
Oh,
for?
he disappeared.
Yes, you lost sight of him.
I will then think, I'm just gonna like think the ditziest, girliest thoughts of just like what I'm gonna wear tomorrow and like that Rolodex of outfits and shoes and like what's that mix match game and what's that movie?
Like Clueless.
Clueless.
Yeah. When she's
Of like
putting her
flipping
outfit
through
on.
outfits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of her closet.
Okay. I will ask a
I
couple
want to throw
follow-up
somebody
things.
off.
Okay. You know how long this spell lasts because you've used it. Unless someone potentially had the capacity to extend its length, which is a thing you can understand some spellcasters can do. Are you going to attempt to do this for a minute, basically?
I think I'd entertain it for a second and then try to shut it off.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say to you. I have experienced myself as a person trying specifically to think about a certain thing and not think about another thing, and it's not that easy to do sometimes. Okay. The other things can butt in. So I'm going to have you make an intelligence check for that portion of it, just to maintain actual ditzy thoughts and not let thoughts of what else is going on in this room right now slip in, and then we'll make an intelligence check for you to attempt to contest it.
Okay. I will use my D4 on the maintaining ditzy thoughts roll.
Okay. Amazing.
I probably didn't need it. It's a 21.
Okay. Okay. You confidently maintain those thoughts for a period of time, and then you want to attempt to contest. Okay, roll an intelligence check.
Can I use a charge from the book for just intelligence checks, or is it only investigation?
Does it list those skills, or does it say intelligence checks?
I'm looking it up.
I'm pretty sure it's specifically
It's
investigation.
It's Arcana and investigation. Okay. That's fine. It's not a saving throw?
No. There's a saving throw to avoid the deeper digging.
4.
Spoiler alert. You already made that one. 4?
Yeah.
Okay. You do not feel it end. Technically, you can use your action on repeat to do this.
What do they know that I'm trying to break it?
You don't. Roll an Arcana check. There's a lot of checks here. A lot of intelligence checks specifically.
18.
To your understanding, you haven't studied the theory of the detect thought spell and whatnot, but you know its workings to a degree. You believe that they would not know you're attempting to end it. They would just know if and when you succeeded. I will also say, in your failure to contest it, does that change your thoughts, or are you continuing to maintain ditzy thoughts?
You tell me if with a 21, if I'm able to, on that intelligence check to maintain it beforehand. If then my goal was snap, would I be able to maintain that line of thought, or would I have to jump to something else?
I will say with a 21, you can do it. For this failure, if you continue to try to contest and continue failing, you might have to roll again. It might be harder to maintain those thoughts.
I will try it again.
Okay, make another contested check. Kita!
16.
What is happening? Okay. You feel it break.
What?
That's it. You just feel it break.
Oh,
yes, there's a squeaker in the background.
Well, I saw your lips move, but you didn't say anything, so I was like...
I said quiet, really loud. You don't know where it came from. You don't know who it was. But something probed your mind for a moment there. All right. The reed is moving. The other Rorks are now doing their 45-degree wine-holding talk to each other thing in this spot where they are. Eclipse, you're with Faye. Let me know if you want to do anything. And Brightwing, what are you going to do as well? Either of you, or both of you.
So, is no one by me anymore?
No one is by you except the Rorks are 12 feet away still.
Oh,
the
okay.
parents,
The
or
parents.
the grandparents, depending on how you want to call them. The in-laws is probably the
Have
best
they
term.
said anything since he's left?
No, they are quite notably silent at the moment. They're glancing around the room.
I think I'll hang. How long does invincibility?
An
Last-
hour.
Okay. I'll hang for another 5 minutes to see what they do.
Okay. And Yasnip, you're staying at the hallway door. Okay. And Eclipse, are you just big chilling with Faye for now?
Yeah, I'm trying to give the most, I belong standing here. Because I look like I keep getting passed off to different people. I'm trying to make that look normal.
Okay. Okay. Brightwing, you stay for 5 minutes. You hear a couple of sideways, largely snide remarks from the Rorks about various people they see passing. And did you hear what they did the other day? Their vote on that one thing is problematic. We're going to need to work on them a little bit, that kind of stuff. Nothing else about Sam or Reed. About 5 minutes of that goes by.
And they haven't made any attempts to move?
No, they seem entrenched here for the moment. Also, throughout the course of that 5 minutes, anyone who wants to have kept an eye can see Reed went back to the area that they had pointed, did a little bit of standing and guard watching, and then disappeared down that hallway.
The opposite one, the one that's facing where?
Yes, the opposite one, which is somewhat near to where the whole initial encounter with the fake Sam voice happened.
So, part of what I was gonna do was, funnily enough, I was trying to get a read on these guys and see if he was saying anything funny, and then I was gonna use my amulet to cast a surface level detect thoughts.
Okay.
And see if there's any emotions or like alarm coming from any, or like anticipation specifically, I think was what I was gonna look for from any of them as I walked past. Because I can get like, if I don't dig, I can change the target.
Okay. You're attempting to do this on the in-laws?
I was gonna do it on the guards when I thought something weird was going on there, but then I got a
Oh.
closer look at the interaction that Reed had, and I feel like it's not what I thought it was.
Okay.
So, what about that guy, that rifleman that had placed himself in line of the Rorks? Is he in kind of where we're at, like in the northeast side?
Who did I say noticed him?
Brightwing.
Okay.
Is it just
That was
Brightwing?
it, right? That's all I said? Yeah. So, I'm going to say I'm not even going to give you a roll to have noticed this.
Okay.
It's was very subtle and slight, and Brightwing noticed it because she was tailing them, and you were more tailing Reed, and the perception and insight to even make that check is at a level that really only Brightwing, maybe Eclipse, given her background, could make. So you don't know about him, is what I'll say.
So I think as we like kind of move in and past, I would still utilize the amulet for a surface level, and I want to like use that as I'm like walking from probably like 1 o'clock on the clock of that room down to like 5 o'clock, and try to, in the 1 minute that it takes to walk all the way down there at a pace that is appropriate for these types of events, see if I can catch any anticipation, alarm, like fear, plot, like deception, like any vibes.
You're hitting all the Ivory Guard.
Yeah, and then the Rorks as well.
And the Rorks.
I would just try to, again, I'm not digging on anyone.
Sure, but you're hitting Ivory Guard, Rourke, and then Ivory Guards until it runs out. Okay, and it's a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. From the Ivory Guards, you get a smattering of thoughts that range from very stoic evaluation, like, that person has a weapon, but I think that they're supposed to have it. That person looks like if something bad happened and they had to run, they would fall flat on their face and get run over by everyone else. That kind of thing. To, oh my gosh, I'm so done with these stuffy ass people. These are the worst kinds of people. It wouldn't even be that bad if somebody caused a problem here. Maybe I would accidentally let some of them get stabbed. Like that level of negativity.
The intrusive thoughts.
Yes, the intrusive thoughts. Really, it's just the emotions that convey these kinds of things, but I'm explaining the thoughts behind the emotions.
How many people would have to die for me to get fired from this job? Can I do one less than that?
There's a bit of boredom, but you don't sense any of the stuff that you kind of laid out as problematic emotions, or any particular anticipation of danger or anything, or events, action, or anything like that. From Clara Rourke, you get seething disdain. And from Raymond Rourke, you get unsettled and concerned. That's the extent of your detect thoughts journey. Brightwing, after your 5 minutes, what are you doing?
I think I'll probably go back to Nas.
Okay. You're invisible.
Yeah. It's new.
What was that? Are you tapping him?
No, I'm turning the corner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you come back up to Nas. Then what?
I think she stands there for like a good 30 seconds because she doesn't want to scare him.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, you're finished. Come on out then. And I'll like start to push the door open.
I'll go over to the door.
And I guess enough to where like it's open and she'd have to push it open the rest of the way to get inside. I think that would make the most sense for the situation.
Okay.
Can I like
Because he's looking for a way to know that she's in
go
there.
under his arm?
Are you like bumping him as you go? To
Do
give
I
him a
have to?
signal that you're going. Well,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
understand what you're doing. He can't see you.
yeah. Go underneath him.
Okay.
It's like if I feel the door like nudge open enough, I'll give it like 2 seconds and then I'll end concentration on the spell.
Okay. No sleight of hand check needed. You're just releasing, and she's inside where she can't be seen. So Brightwing, you poof back into visible existence, and you can walk out.
Okay.
Okay.
As
You. Yeah. Go ahead.
do that. I'm gonna smile and then just kind of go like, there's a follow.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk
Into the
by.
bathroom?
No. Follow me out.
Okay.
As I walk out, are the works still at their perch?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna walk by in the sense of just walking past them.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hear those snide remarks as I'm walking past? Like,
No, you hear nothing. Not because you don't hear, because they're not saying anything at that particular moment.
ah. Okay. As we walk past them and a good ways away at our earshot,
Okay.
I'll turn back to Nas. They told him about Sam? Which I don't really know what that was about. But I think maybe we need to get them to talk to us. And they are interested in magic, yes?
We don't know that.
That's true.
We don't have an end. Perhaps I tried too hard.
No. That was a good idea. Should we go try to talk to him?
no idea what about.
That's the problem, yes. The only thing I could think of to get their attention is if I were to shift. Since it's a feature that no one else has here. And one that does come from magic ability, but more who you are, but it is also magical inclined. But that's the only thing I can think of.
Well, we still have some of the night. After all, it's only
8, 12.
see what the night brings.
Okay.
Okay. Incidentally, the two of you don't see Eclipse and Faye in where they were last noticed by you. They've Eclipse, you went with Faye on her Detect Thoughts tour, I assume? Okay. So you two are in the southeast area right now. Not far from that hallway, actually, but not where you guys expected them to be, so you don't see them immediately. I am going to say this. With regard to the last hour or so, I'm going to have Faye roll an insight check with advantage regarding the Ivory Guard. This is going to use one of the encounters because you detect thoughts many Ivory Guards, and this is going to be the roll for that. And then I'm going to have all of you. Well, you know what? I'll save that until Faye's done. So we don't
All of you
wires.
roll initiative.
Oh my god.
A dragon crashes through the ceiling.
17.
Okay.
Finally something I can do properly.
Okay. Take a D4. That's a success.
Oh.
Not a massive one.
Yeah.
You have a D4 favor die. Okay. Now I'm going to have all of you make a skill check. I would like for you to tell me what you feel is most relevant to the Rourke encounter as a whole. For yourself. You choose the skill. What you choose will determine how I see it interacting with the encounter that has happened. You will make the checks as a group, and you can choose individual skills, but it'll be a group check, and that will determine how the Rourke encounter finishes.
So we all roll
plays
the
out.
same thing, but we
No.
choose. Oh.
You all roll d20s, but you can choose your skill that you
Oh.
feel correlates to how you interacted with this encounter. Because everybody interacted with it kind of differently. And if you choose something, it may mean you miss out on something else. Like if you choose perception and not insight, you may miss out on some insight stuff, but you may have seen some things. So you choose what's relevant, tell me why, and then you make the check.
I think mine's the easy one. I don't think any of it would have happened without sleight of hand. So I think
Okay.
that's my main one.
Okay, make a sleight of hand check. Keep the number until everyone else has decided.
I think mine was perception.
Okay, make a perception check. Not shifted anymore.
I don't really feel like I contributed a whole lot to the Rourkes specifically. My thing just happened at the same time, but I would say probably deception because I was trying to actively be nonchalant while tailing that, and then I did roll by them real slow.
Okay, I will buy that. Roll deception. Eclipse.
I think I fit in the same boat, but I don't know because I did a lot of watching, so it's kind of hard to tell.
You can double up. This is not like a normal skill check where you have to pick something different. So if you want to go perception, you can. If you want to go something else, you can.
Yeah, I would like to insight, but I don't think I have any reason to.
if it helps, I will say, given your background and your training to assess what people are thinking and intending to do, the way you've been watching the road for the last 20 minutes, an insight check would make sense to me.
Right. Okay. Then yeah, I will do that.
All right, make an insight check. And everybody give me your numbers. Not all at once now.
25.
Oh, sorry, 24.
26.
17.
Okay. Goodness gracious. That's an average of 23. Okay. That's going to be a D8. You four, between yourselves, can choose who takes it. But only one of you gets it.
Eclipse, I think.
I'll
I'm
give
not
it to a
doing
clip.
anything. Guys, I'm not doing anything. Ah!
But I think it helps you the most if something
But I think if you get
happens.
stuck in something,
Okay. We'll
you
take
might be
that
the
then.
one who would need it.
Okay.
Also, you spotted Reed and kind of started this to some degree.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, damn it, that's fair.
Okay, so that the Ivory Guard, Rorks, and the Dry Car take up 3 of your remaining 4 encounters. You have 1 left, if you would like.
Damn,
You don't
we really
necessarily need to use it. You don't have to go
comboed
talk to anyone else if you don't want to. But if you would like to use 1 more to find something out, to talk to a person you haven't talked to, you have 1 more.
I think we kind of hit what was important to us and what we felt was relevant. We were kind of fishing and throughout the week we were kind of like, well, we could do this or we could do this or we could do this, but we could also get that information from here, 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 or here if it was something specific. I think
we should wait for the illusionist's performance and see if anything comes of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
agree.
So you forego an 8th encounter for now.
For now. If anything
For
comes
now.
of that, then
Only for now. Only
Okay.
for now.
Okay. You, I assume, reconnect with each other?
Yeah, I would have been watching that hallway knowing that they went down there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I had kind of made that big loop. So
you're not
like
far from
maybe like met up with them and been like, come on, and then maybe try to go back over to the southwest corner or like that south,
Okay.
like maybe the mid side on the other side,
Okay. Very doable.
back to where we all started.
Yeah. Is there any debriefing that anybody wants to do in the couple minutes after you meet up? Because a lot has happened that only 1 or 2 of you know.
Someone tried to read my mind.
What?
Yeah.
I tried to fuck with somebody's mind.
Guys, what are you doing? You know what? Never mind, I don't care.
I think I did my best to pretend to be a shallow, hoity-toity rich kid,
You're
but
not.
I
Whoa.
Zing!
it kind of deflates a little bit.
What? Okay, so Sam's not here.
No,
Oh,
Okay.
that's a bad.
I talked to Sam.
Literally. What? Yeah, that happened. Dude, you have no idea how much shit has happened in the last.
The eyes that just
and a
had
half
just now.
God. What?
3 hours, 2 minutes, 50 seconds.
No!
We can clip
Do
that, yeah.
not screenshot. I swear to God. Dude, you have no idea how actually tired I am dealing with this. Fuck.
Nas made me invisible
We'll talk about
and
that one maybe later.
but I wasn't.
I did confirm that Sam is not in Yilmara, in case anyone was wondering. Eclipse said that she heard what sounded like her voice, and it made it.
Mhm.
Oh, you. Okay, well. I also,
Nothing's happened. It's good. suppose.
Not that we're aware of. I'm concerned about the mind reading. I don't know who did it. I cut it off. But it was shortly after I made eye contact with the dry car, and I don't know if someone used that as an in or if it was him himself. I feel like he wouldn't be so brazen.
Oh, he's... For you two, he's been watching Faye.
I'm sure many in this room have been watching Faye.
Real.
Yes, that's what I had thought before. But the reason why I went to go talk to him after the performance was he seemed sad, and while he watched it, had a sense of longing. And when he said, I've never heard of her before, Faye, I got the sense that that wasn't entirely truthful, but not more, it was more curiosity in it. But he could be very good at lying too.
He did.
It would be ironic if someone capable of that was a bad liar.
I mean, when we spoke, he was polite and complimentary. Very professional, it seemed, but he said if we happen to run into each other in the future, then so be it. That was kind of where we left it. I think he knows full well that we don't exactly run in the same circles, so it seemed very polite.
Well,
I think he did indicate that his performance is starting soon, though, so perhaps we should try to figure out where that's at and get a good spot.
Oh, well, there we go.
The distinguished Drycar Orion Marquez will be performing a illusionary spectacle in the courtyard. Please make your way to the gardens. You see a bunch of people react. Some of them start scurrying very unbecomingly. Others seem to take a more demure approach and appear disinterested, but kind of amble that way.
Why are they trying to clear the room?
Walking.
Circle up. If anything is going to go weird tonight, this may be the time. I think we need to have eyes peeled.
Remember the plan. How to confirm. It's illusion.
So what do we do?
You go watch.
We don't know what we're watching for is the only thing, so...
Just if something happens, if you get separated, if you lose sight, doesn't matter. Confirm.
well,
Especially with this.
shall we? And I'll hand out an arm if somebody wants to take it as we begin to walk.
I'll take it.
Okay.
I will trail behind them.
Okay. Brightwing?
I will start to follow and kind of like look back at the venue and like have a seed of like, I feel like something bad's gonna happen, and follow.
Okay.
Read
And-
them
As a
came
sense of,
back,
like,
right?
As a sense of like cinematography, like the camera turns, like is following like us walking away, and you see Brightwing turn and like have one more look at like gets
Okay.
like a feeling.
Yeah.
and then follows
Um,
behind.
No, you have not seen Reed reappear. And Faye, you mentioned keeping eyes out. What is? Are any of you attempting to do a particular thing or look for a particular thing as you amble out with this crowd, or are you just going to be a part of the experience and not stand out or whatever? What are you attempting, if anything, to do unusually?
I don't want to see who's staying behind. If anything.
There are a few stragglers who seem potentially disinterested or too drunk to have realized the announcement that was made, but it's like half a dozen. The vast majority of people are intending to tune in to an arcane performance by one of the strongest arcanists in the realm, is the sense you get.
If I do a general, like, holding the door open and wait for people to walk by, are the Rourke staying behind? Can I see them in the room?
Roll a perception check.
$23.
23. Okay, it was not a low DC to pick them out of this moving crowd, but you do see them exiting the back or going into the banquet hall and the direction that everybody's going to exit towards the gardens in the back. You catch a brief glimpse. It's like everyone's moving and it's hard to notice really anyone, but with a 23 you pick that up.
Okay. And no, I'll just leave it at that. I probably haven't even... I've been looking for Reed, but I don't think he'll have come back.
Okay. Okay. So you guys make your way out?
Yeah.
I don't know, do you? You see, once you get to the banquet hall, if you go at least that far, you see people exiting these two large side doors that come out the sides of the banquet hall on either side of that large wall of glass windows. And then filing down, there's like these large stairwells and then pathways that lead into this garden. And you see like a large fountain area, a walled area, several trees and bush structures and things. And people begin to like follow these walkways and fill into the area largely around the fountain in this sort of courtyardish area.
What is the presence of the Ivory Guard? Where are they standing? The riflemen, where are they standing? Is it like they are on the edges and everyone else is kind of in the middle?
You see a few Ivory Guard that are posted up at the exits. You at least get to the banquet room, I'm assuming at this point, unless someone stops me. Okay. As you reach that area, see the exit doors, you see some Ivory Guard posted both inside and outside those exits on either door to either side. You don't see any down in the courtyards, and you do see a few of the riflemen that are moving along with the people that they have largely been moving along with throughout the course of the night. A little bit more cursorily to the edges of things. They're not so much like intermingled with the crowd, because that's not their intent or goal. It's more like keeping watch from a perimeter perspective. It would seem. You can, I would say, Eclipse mainly you would get this because of your background. You see in their movements and positioning a clear intent to not be among, but to be without and in accessible range to guard whoever they're meant to guard. But they're good at not like you don't want a rifleman guard who's got a rifle on his back, like standing right next to some lady in a dress and bumping into her and stuff. So they don't really intermingle. They tend to perimeter a bit more, if that makes sense.
Do they seem like low key they are making a wall kind of a thing of themselves? Not like shoulder to
No.
shoulder, but like okay. They've
Not
given
a
themselves
s-
enough space.
Yeah, they don't seem to be blocking anything. No, they're spread out as if still around the people that they would have been assigned to guard, as you understand. But it's just they're not like interspersed within the crowd very much because
Okay.
that's not the way that their guardianship would work, and you would understand that, especially given the fact they use ranged weapons primarily. It would seem.
Spot.
Okay, you guys head down into the garden and mingle.
Yeah, kinda. I think one last like clock of trying to figure out like where's a good spot, and then also clocking where like exits are from the
Yeah.
garden.
Okay.
Is there more exits from the garden? Is it just back into the building? I know we're up in the top district, so like the things with the cliffs get weird sometimes, and like
Yeah. If you imagine like an estate, an old like English estate, where when you exit the back of the main house and see like the huge fountain areas and the rows of trees and all that, and it is acres, that's what you're looking at here. So there are areas to exit this like garden, fountain, wall, bush area, but that largely goes into open field or
so we're not
other.
surrounded by like a 12-foot wall of green, or like I was thinking of like a hedge maze for some reason.
Around where you like, specifically around where you are in the tight knit area, there are some low walls and some
Okay.
like hedge structures, but the whole thing is not walled in by any means.
Okay,
In
so
the
there is line of
specific area.
sight outside of where all these people are gathered.
Yes, and there are estate walls in the distance.
Further out, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
far in the distance. And given your familiarity with the city and these kinds of places, you imagine there are gates, at least a gate in every direction of this back courtyard, maybe multiple, given its size. Okay, so, but you guys head down in, intermingle. About 4 or 5 minutes goes by of everybody gathering, murmuring, before a lot of those like floating lights that had been like that sparkling moonlight kind of thing, they're also scattered throughout this garden area. They all dim slightly. And well on the other side of the large kind of central fountain courtyard area, which is where most people are gathered, there's this like longer fountain or pool kind of thing. And then at the back of that, there's like a structured hedge area. And in that area, you see up on a small platform, the dry car standing. And you see him begin to move his hands in a complicated series of motions. And you see... Have you all seen Revenge of the Sith, the third Star Wars movie, when they go to that like opera
Oh my god. Yeah.
and he talks about Darth Plagueis the Wise? He tells the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Do you know what I'm talking about?
With the
And when
orb
they're
with the
there,
water and the
there are these massive balls of energy, and there's like imagery moving in between them, and there's this music that plays, and it is this huge spectacle. That is what you begin to see. It is hundreds of feet in, like, if you built a cube to contain all of what you see, hundreds of feet. Massive, and it is lights and colors and shapes, arcana that is shifting and moving within itself. You see really a very similar structure to much of that scene from Revenge of the Sith, with these like large orbs, and then things will come out of them, and you'll see like a collection of soldiers that like march out of one, and a collection of creatures that seem like warriors of some more evil group that come out of another, and they clash together and then melt. And then you see what looks like a massive, what some of you would understand, all of you would understand from history, is a depiction of a dragon that like comes out of one and soars and disappears into another. And you see within one this like blossom of a flower that turns into a million other flowers, and then they all dissipate and like fade away into twinkling lights, and then those turn into a starscape, and you see shooting star, shooting star, shooting star. It is without doubt the most incredible arcane display that any of you have ever seen, including Faye, who has probably seen some pretty crazy stuff. I will say Faye and Eclipse roll an Arcana check.
It's trash.
I'll use another charge.
That is a 5.
Okay. I mean, that kind of checks out, but I did want to give you the chance, given your background of education.
30,
The
20.
biggest question I would probably have is the dry cart still standing in the same place, or has he moved? Like with the performance?
He seems
Or does
to
he
be
look
still
like he's
standing.
conducting it?
It seems like he's conducting it.
Okay.
You're not sure whether or not he's actively
Actually.
conducting it, or if it's
Yeah.
just like a display.
Yeah.
But it looks almost like he's conducting it.
Okay.
Faye, with a dirty 20, you said? You would get the distinct impression, based off your study of and familiarity with magic, this is about as powerful a spell as can be cast. And it goes on, this performance, for 5, 6, 7 minutes. And then I will say Eclipse and Brightwing, roll a d20.
What the?
I'm rolling so many 14s tonight.
The 2.
A 2, okay. And you rolled a natural 14, Brightwing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eclipse, you see nothing. Brightwing, you see in your periphery, just because you're Brightwing, a quick series of periphery movements that are synced enough to catch your attention. And as you look to the side and try to locate what you had seen, you see several, maybe in the window that you look to at one side, maybe half a dozen of those riflemen throw something, an object, into the crowd, and you all see and hear this as these huge clouds of dark, incredibly dark smoke, black gray smoke, billow out into these spheres all across this courtyard, blocking vision of much of what you can see. And you hear the sounds of cocking rifles. And that is where we will pick up next time.
Yeah. They fucking suck, dude. Yeah.
Favorite moments! What a session!
Jesus Christ. I like Brian going off the fucking rails. That was great.
True!
Brian was like, alright, I'm gonna just do the thing. And I was like, alright, I guess we'll just do the thing and I don't even care. I'm gonna go
Brian
over
said,
here.
fuck these people intentionally.
Yeah. No, that was great. I love
Yeah.
that.
I had no plans, so that was 100 times better than my plan. It was just enough to like get a rise out of them and make them start moving. They were too comfortable. We needed them to be moving and like make them uncomfortable, and that was the
It's funny because even if it didn't go exactly our way, it still worked, which is the best part. So I'm
that
glad
was
we
the
didn't
that was
have a
the middle
plan.
finger for Sam.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
We
just the
rolled
fu.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did do some stuffs.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Tiny favorite moment was, "Are you hungry? Say yes."
Yep.
57.
I like that.
I was
That was
like,
a
we
good
have
one.
to confirm. I haven't seen you this whole time.
Holding pie. Yes, yes, bread. Here.
God damn it. It's poison. Kill it. It's fake.
Okay. Oh my god, I don't know. That's great.
I liked being the
Sleuthing.
recipient of my own.
I like being a wire,
memory.
and I think I have a plan.
You think you have a plan?
Yeah, and I think it
I
might
think I
be
know
able
what
to
your
use
plan
this.
is, and I think that I also have the same plan.
Hey, yo! I think I might know what it is.
Might be able to use a stupid spell for the first time, but in the right context, it could save lives.
I don't know how many lives we're saving against a fucking gun, but here we go.
Well, it says it stops projectiles.
Well,
I mean,
I guess we're about
It
to
says it
find
right
out
there.
Yeah, it does say that. That is the thing that it does.
good.
whether
The only thing it can
projectile
do-
is made of a metal is to be determined.
Oh,
Arrowhead.
it could definitely slow it down.
Yeah.
Make it more of a rubber. Make
More
it-
like a rubber bullet,
a rubber bullet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
a
ow.
BB gun. Like, ah.
Eh.
I don't know
Paintball.
what kind of fucking
Airsoft.
I don't know, man.
Like it's gonna hurt, but you're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
You'll survive.
You know
It'd be a
what?
bad
Just for
bruise.
fun, just for fun, because this seems like it could be helpful. Let's do this
Is there a map?
before we.
Oh,
end
is
for
there a
tonight.
map?
There is a map.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I'm gonna have you guys put yourselves where you
Yeah.
think you would be on
Son
this
of a
map.
bitch. Alright.
The dry car is way up here. I don't even know if you see where I'm clicking, but it's the very top
Oh.
above, past
I'm
that pool.
sorry. So, the rifle
everyone is
people. I
back-
saw the rifle people like here.
Everyone's back
There-
here.
The rifle people are more like at the walls of that, like that wall and hedge thing you see is like maybe 2 or 3 feet tall. They're kind of at the edges of or outside that kind
On
of
all
room.
sides or just?
Around
side?
most sides, yes. Probably all from what you saw.
So they're like here and here.
Potentially, yeah. Yes. Likely in those areas.
Mm.
I wanted to stick near an edge, but I didn't realize there was a fountain in the middle, so everyone's at an edge. Like I didn't want to get too engrossed in the crowd. The building's back here.
Yes, that's correct. The building's back there.
Guess wherever Faye is, Yasnip is right next to her.
Yeah, I was honestly feeling like
Yeah, you guys are all going to be pretty close to each other, so you're kind of deciding as a group, but
like
you're not going to be very
here-ish.
spread out.
Or like this back wall over like here-ish was kind of what I had in mind, but how
Okay,
many
I see
people does
Yasna.
these busty redhead and suave, tall, dark, and handsome represent?
Each one of those represents probably around half a dozen, maybe a little more
Are these just
on average.
duplicates of the Rorks? Is this what they look like?
No, that's not what they look like. No, they look like Jamie Lee Curtis and John Malkovich.
Oh, that's right.
Alrighty, so you.
Everybody in this campaign looks like a celebrity.
I prefer to do it that way, so I know what they actually look like.
Are these
and
real?
So that
Are these
whoever makes
dimensions
the-
real?
Yes, those dimensions are real. And so whoever makes the movie
I can only save
eventually
half the
knows who to
people.
cast.
The rest of them are
Yeah.
screwed.
So
Okay, so no one else is on the map, but you're all near Nas, I assume, is what we're
Yeah,
deciding.
we're on that
Yeah.
back wall.
All right, then I will do
Unless Eclipse
this.
had a different vibe.
There we go.
Boop.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Hmm.
Oh.
Mm.
So that's what you know you're dealing with. Obviously, you cannot see through
Through.
these spheres. But you took a casing of where all the guards were, so you would know those locations more or less.
The Dragon.
Yeah, you do not see him at all. He is behind a wall of these spheres. You don't know what's going on back there.
And just for headcanon, this is smoke, right?
It is intense, spilling out black and gray dark smoke that's forming these spheres, basically, of smoke.
Just want to
It
make
is
sure.
not magical.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So you could
and
blow it away.
And from what you can hear and the speed with which it ballooned, it sounds like it is a pretty constant stream and very forceful. It like immediately filled these spaces in a matter of a second or two.
Like someone like taped down the lid of a spray paint can and threw it in a room.
It's really
it's
big.
just
This is
but
like
as far as
SWAT.
where it's still going.
Oh yes,
is it-
yes. It's like
It's the darkness spell effectively.
But
it
it's
is
not
effectively.
Or does it function the
but
same
it's
way?
not magic. But
Okay.
yes, it is. It is roughly the same size, and it creates a sphere, or in this case, a semi-sphere that you can't see through. So that is where we'll pick up. Did everyone share a favorite moment? I think so. I guess I didn't, but I would say everybody's little bit of thing that they threw into these encounters was, I thought, like, super intriguing. And I feel like the characters are very in this place interacting with what's happening, which is cool to me. All right. We will be back in a week to deal with this mess. Until
Ooh.
then, adios.